Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades. Gas masks and hand grenades.
Welcome to Gas Mask. I almost said hand gas and something or other. You can tell I'm a little out of sorts here. Gas Mask and Hand Grenades. Welcome to our show tonight. I'm your host, Jeff. We are back for episode 3 of Electric Meditations, and I have an esteemed panel of, well, all right, I got an esteemed panel of something.
There's a panel here.
I got an esteemed panel here. To my, I don't know if you're seeing it the same way I am, but to my this direction, one of these directions, I've got Mr. Brian Arkham. It's a rare sighting. He doesn't come out that often these days. He doesn't come to play with us much anymore.
I've got an early bedtime usually.
Well, I think it's more than that. I think that you're a super skinny guy now, and you don't want to hang out with fat guys. That's what I think is what's going on. So.
I've been eating hot dogs and tacos, so I'm putting it back on slowly but
Man,
surely.
dude, you're looking slim though. I mean, your face is like the slimmest, way slimmer than I've ever seen you. All right, it's starting to sound gay, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Down below me,
Move on.
the sickly one. He was supposed to be at a show with me last night. This show right here, the Zoth band in Philadelphia.
How you don't want me coughing all over everybody? That wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, but we got Mr. Rick Dreadful Rick with us here tonight. Good to see you, my buddy. You feeling a little better today?
Joining Dreadful tonight.
You feeling a little better, or are you still feeling rough?
No, I'm all right, man. I'm about to dig on a can of some special THC. I think we'll get
you got your THC drink? That means we got to hurry then. We got to get these choices in quick.
Special one. Let me pull it.
If I know Rick, he'll be fucking half wasted in an hour off of one can of that shit. So, and then it's this guy who we've been threatening. Whatever, he's that way, kind of whatever. Catty corner from me. Been threatening to get this guy back on for 2 years. I think it's coming up on. You know, I move slow. We still are going to do that coil thing. I want to do a coiled Nurse with Wound thing, but we're going to talk about one of those bands tonight. At least I am.
Nurse with Wound, you're saying?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that one. Oh, is that signed by the man?
Yeah.
Nice. Are you showing that one?
No.
Okay, because I'm showing one. So
it was just here.
Okay, I was just hanging out. Yeah, we're going to do something with that. But Mr. Stunt Rock Confusion. I can't fucking talk tonight, man. That's what having way too much fucking beer last night did to me. It have made me stupid today. But yeah, Stunt Rock Confusion. Stunty is with us. Stunty is, he's kind of the guru of this kind of these genres. So
maybe in the VC, but not necessarily in the world.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure there's people out there that know a little bit more than all of us. But yeah, man. So real quickly, I did want to show this to my guys before you jumped on. I picked these up then, Rick. That's the show.
Wow.
That's the second and third one, I think. Or no, it's the first and third one. The first and third
Always got killer artwork, man. Yeah, that's just very eye candy kind of stuff.
And then I picked up these because, man, dude, my God.
Nocturnal Will, man. Like
this band. Do you know them, Brian? Dodrip? Oh, is he frozen again? He's frozen.
He's looking very serious.
Very serious.
Very serious look on that man's face. Listen, Brian, you don't have to stare at me like that, bro. It's like, it's okay. It's all right. Brian, you may want to pop back out and pop back in.
Am I moving again?
Oh, there. Now you're back. There you're back. You had this.
No,
you look like Dwight from The Office for a second.
Yeah,
thank you.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I might need to adjust because you guys are freezing on me. So.
Yeah, you might want to reboot or something like that. But do you know that Dodesrit band from Sweden? Melodic black metal?
Who, me?
No, I was talking to Brian. He must be having issues.
Because you're showing metal. I thought we were showing electronic music, but if we're doing metal, then I can.
I know. You wanted to show that off, yeah? Stunty's not a big metal guy, but he does like the Napalm Death. He does like the Napalm Death.
Okay.
I love the. I think yeah, I love the 2020 album of Napalm Death, which is actually almost like an industrial record for the most part.
The one with the bird, right?
Yeah,
The bird
yeah.
twitcher. Yeah.
Real quick, just to explain something to Kevin, you were saying lots of comments are appearing and then disappearing. The reason that they are is because there's a troll
Yeah.
who we won't mention his name, but
Troll control.
he's a constant pain in the ass. He's totally immature, total douchebag, total fucking moron, total piece of shit. And he likes to come in here and be the center of attention. So I've got Brandon is getting rid of him as you're seeing him pop in with all these stupid names and whatnot. So and Tim's here too, so he will help out as well. So I appreciate you guys helping me out with that. I apologize to the normal posters in the chat that we have to put up with this fucking cunt, but unfortunately we do. I can't make him.
And maybe we have to take a bet on is Kevin Gray one of them or not.
Well, I
So,
don't know. I
yeah.
think we'll find out. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. Yeah. So, but that's kind of what's going on there. And Kevin, just warning you, the guys do have a trigger finger. So I'm assuming it is really you. Let's hope it's you and not the guy who shall not be named, other than loser. I'll call him loser. But otherwise, that's not you. That's the guy that comes in and plays games. So, real quick, I guess we're going to see, did Brian come back? He did not come back. Are we going to have the same problem we had on the first episode with him?
I mean, he is in the basement, so it could be a reception issue.
Yeah, but the same thing happened with him the last time. He couldn't get in on the night we did the first electric meditation. So weird. Anyway, but yeah, so the point of this series is once a month I'm going to pull in some of my buddies that want to be victims, and we're going to show 5 albums, CDs, whatever, 5 artists or albums that are primarily in the electronic genre, and that can encompass everything from ambient to dark ambient to found sound to glitch to EDM, IDM, whatever. I mean, it's all those kind of things that don't fall in a normal type pop song structure. Even because even things like metal still have kind of song structures. They usually have a verse and a chorus.
I got stuff in a collection, like some drone and shit, and I'm like, these don't fit in the normal mold of what I would show in my videos. So where do I even fit this?
But maybe we should define what electronic music
Well,
is
you go ahead.
for starters.
Go for it.
So basically, most of the music we're familiar with comes from a Western tradition of dodecaphonism, the 12-note system. If you go outside of the Western world, like in India, they have a microtonal.
Microtonal, right.
Yeah, which means that between each of the tones that we accept, there's an infinity of potential tones that you can tune on a string instrument, for example. In the late 40s, the addition of 3 inventions, the amplifier, the forest lamp, and the tape recorder, allowed people to manipulate sound and to pitch it in ways that didn't match the normal tones. So basically, electronic music was the goal, the artistic goal of electronic music originally is to free the composer from tonality of the Western tempered keyboard. So basically, you would either use existing sound through the tape recorder that you could slow down, pitch up, so that you would create new tones, and then you could manipulate it, play it backwards through effects, etc. Or if it's electronic music in a more traditional sense, this is the tape musique concrète way I described, which started in 48, 49, and then in 50, 51 in Köln in Germany, you had people like Koenig and Herbert Eimert, who were basically the teachers of someone you might know, Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, who's featured on the Magic Mystery Tour Beatles album. He's one of the people there.
Right.
and they use oscillators in a synthesizer.
Right.
What creates the sound wave is an oscillator. Some synthesizers have 1, 2, 3. The more oscillators you have, the more combinations you can build.
Yeah.
So
So whether
you-
it's monophonic or polyphonic, then
exactly.
yeah, right.
So there's these two schools that sometimes work together that are really the basis of what electronic music is.
Yep. Good thing to throw out there. That's great because, like you said, the microtonal scales, you get a whole different. It's a whole different paradigm of what you can create musically, and so. But in terms of what I kind of wanted to do here was because Stunty, you and I have talked a lot about, the things that we enjoy, and we do. You're much deeper than I am, but I'm pretty deep, and so we get into some of these weird things that just don't fall into pop or rock or hard rock or metal or whatever. They're these weird places that aren't really there's something there's something otherwise, right? And so for me, in a weird way, it was a way to try to expose people to some of the cool stuff that I got exposed to in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I kind of came into this. All right, we'll see what happens there, Stunny. We'll just sit tight. And in an honest appraisal of the situation, it was a way for me to start showing some stuff that maybe nobody shows, or not many people in the VC showed, right? I mean, and it's funny because you use the word VC. We don't really use that in our metal group. We just talk about the metal people. That's all. We don't really go, oh, Brian's in the VC or Jeff's in the VC. We just don't get that. To me, I got to be completely honest with you. When I hear that term, it just kind of smells of fucking.
It triggers you.
Well, it smells of precociousness. Like, oh, look at me. It's the guys that I watched 5 years ago that I'm like, I don't want to hang out with these dudes. You're not one of those guys, but I tried it a couple times with some of those people.
Yeah.
It didn't sit well with me. Now these guys right here, I love hanging with these guys. They probably don't feel the same way about hanging with me, I would guess. But the bottom line is we're all like a band of brothers in the metal.
Yeah, well, VC is just a word I use, like dildo or whatever.
Right.
Some of us wear certain members only jackets, right? Like
we do have a members only pledge thing though. When we see each other, we do the handshake and all that. It's kind of weird, but
it's like our old school and bones,
Okay, Brian, let's test you out real quick. You're moving, so let me hear you speak.
Testing, mic check, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm going to turn you up just a tiny bit. All right, you seem like you're. If you get stationary again and stoic looking like you were, it was like that. It was like I think he's frozen. So
I switched computers, so this one should be better.
Let's rip and tear into this. I have one little caveat to throw out there very quickly, which is that in most of my streams, when we do like deep dives and whatnot, I almost always say to my panelists, you got to show something that you own, and you got to have a hard copy of it. Well, I own all the things I'm going to show tonight. I have hard copies of the things I'm going to show tonight, but unfortunately, 3 of the 5 I was not feeling well enough to dig around through my vast. I don't have walls of CDs. I have boxes of CDs in multiple closets everywhere. So, I'm cheating a little bit from my own rules tonight, but I'm allowed to. You guys aren't, but I am. But I'm just kidding. So, all right. So we'll get rolling here. We'll do this thing here. We'll go this way, and Rick's first up. So Rick, why don't you get started?
I'm going cosmic first. I'm doing the 12 milligram.
Oh man, dude.
Of the aroma Mango Moon.
Moon.
I'm going cosmic.
I gotta say though, that blueberry stuff you sent me, what was it? Blueberry
blue mojito.
Oh
yeah. Oh, that's magical, man.
Man, I was pretty stoned after drinking that thing, man. Pretty good. So all
right. You see where my head is at.
Go easy. I don't want you to be like falling in cosmos by the first hour, into the first hour. So
I did get some rest. So I probably won't pass out.
All right, cool.
Like other streams.
Yeah.
He's gonna get real deep though in about 30 minutes about the cosmos.
He is. He's gonna start cosmicing out on
creator of all.
All right, go for it.
You want me to start with whatever I have first?
Yeah, do your first choice.
All right. Yeah. So let's do something kind of odd. So this is an artist. I'll start with an artist everybody knows, Tom York. And Tom York, I don't know how many of you are Radiohead fans, but I did pick up his solo album long ago. It was called like The Eraser or something like that.
Yeah, I have that. That's good.
It is, and it wasn't supposed to have vocals, right? He didn't want it to have vocals initially. When he decided to go into that career, he even didn't tell his band he was doing some solos, working on some solo stuff. I think his producer at the time told him to kind of start including some vocals for more commercial appeal. It might have been too experimental for it always comes down to this, right? With what he was doing at the time on his laptop. And so as he started releasing more and more stuff in that kind of vein, he got the attention of a director. I think his name is Luca Guadagnino. It's Italian or something.
All right, we'll believe you.
So he did can't be the THC kicking in already. Guadagnino. So has anybody seen the remake to Suspiria?
Yes.
I have not, actually.
It's it's very different stylistically.
Okay.
And I think it kind of had to be. It's such a classic, and done in such a way to try and remake that, which was so particular to its time period, and just the whole styling and just the whole direction of it. I think the approach he took with that flick, I think, was the correct maneuver, if you will. So I wouldn't say it wouldn't be fair to compare apples to apples from the original to the new one. It's different in its own curious way, if you will.
I checked it out a little bit. I mean, I'm a Goblin guy. You know, I'm a Goblin fanatic. So I mean, nothing's gonna replace that ever.
Yeah, and I think the director did not want to do a Goblin Part 2.
Yeah,
obviously, with this, it's a whole different crowd, a whole different generation. That much time has passed.
Yeah.
So, he reached out to Tom York to do something like this. He really wasn't in for it. He didn't want to do it, and it took a lot of coaxing to jump on something like this, like Ambition. You know what I mean? It's like when Tim Burton reaching out to Prince to do Batman. Like, yeah, we got that other guy, but then a name you guys may know, and then they got to do another side of it, right? So reaching out to somebody known in the rock scene or indie rock, like Tom York, to do something like this. If obviously, he went and took this undertaking and did a whole album based on that remake of that film, and very, very cool that this thing exists. You know what I mean, for what it is. There are vocal moments in this, but as you progress through it, it has a really cool stylistic theme kind of going through it. But what is it, like 25 tracks? It's hard to see because it's kind of this hot pink over this blue. I like how they kind of kept that old kind of art style to it.
So it is not like the soundtrack to the remake. It's just like a.
It is the soundtrack.
It is.
It is, but it's a completely different thing. It's not any. He's not doing Goblin. He's doing his own thing.
Right.
And there's a lot of like ambient and instrumental moments too in this. It's a soundtrack, like,
Gotcha.
like I said, along with a mix of other things. So it's kind of all over the place. It's a double CD. It's again interesting thing. Not something that I thought I'd be interested in, but checking out his earlier solo material, I was intrigued.
When did that come out? Because I don't even recall hearing about this. Recent?
Well, a couple years ago.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
2019, 2018, something. I don't know, whenever that movie came out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of at a loss. I didn't really even realize it was remade, the movie. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, I'm an Argento guy, and I love that movie. It's terrible in a lot of ways, but it's fantastic in others. And of course, Goblin.
I was disappointed to hear it was going to be remade. Like, oh, really? It's such a, what I mean, like for what it is, but the direction they took with it, I think it was different enough for what it is. I mean, they kept the name Suspiria, but I would still steer people to the original first.
Oh,
before anything. Like, if you're gonna check it out, you know what I mean. And they kind of supplemental thing, just a kind of interesting little project. But I wouldn't say this would be quote superior to it. It's just different, alternative take, if you will. Everything, even down to the music, obviously.
Very cool.
So
What's interesting about the movie, though, is that the original one, as Jeff was saying, is flawed one from a certain perspective. Obviously, the plot,
Yeah.
the movie makes no sense. The acting is pretty
Pretty bad.
pretty bad.
Yep.
What's great about it is that it's a movie that's purely about lightning, like the colors and
Yeah,
music.
the lighting and the
The colors of the movie are just—it's a psychedelic
Insane.
movie like very few movies have achieved ever.
it's
Like,
like
sure,
yeah,
it's kind of like a nightmare fugue state.
yeah,
And that is what I
And-
see when I see it. Yeah.
like sure we like it because the theme of witches is a little bit fun for us,
Mhm.
but in reality it's really about the visual experience and audio, because
Yeah.
the original Goblin soundtrack
Yep.
is more than just a character in the movie.
It's
Whereas
part
in
of
the
the movie.
remake,
It's critical to the movie, if you ask
yeah,
me.
the remake is way more well structured and
Okay.
balanced in many ways. Whether we like it or not, it's more like a normal movie, even if it's a crazy
might-
movie.
I might search it out now because I hadn't seen it. So
I would say if you're looking for a modern like witches movie and shit like that, like this wouldn't be a bad one to start with. If you're looking for a modern interpretation of something like that, you know what I mean? Like it would be a cool one to steer people to. It's still very visceral, with the torture and all that stuff that's going on, like the original. When that came out,
pretty bloody.
it's like
bloody.
you're doing a good job when the people hurting makes you hurt too. It's
Yeah.
like, oh man, I could imagine what the bones breaking on that person is. Will be like on me. It's just great.
And they took they made a good choice with setting up the movie during Cold War in East Berlin, if I remember correctly, as well.
Okay.
So it has a sort of
Feel.
semi-political context that adds up to the paranoid state of the movie.
All right, I'm gonna check that out then. Brian, you ready?
Sure.
All
Yep.
right.
Actually,
Let her
I'm not.
rip.
Oh, just quickly about Tom York, who did the movie. There, before that, he had a secret alias called CC Backback, where he was doing electronic music solo, more on the dance side of things, but still kind of electronica dance. But he did a few remixes for other bands just to test himself out
Okay.
without having
What was
the
it called?
attention of
CC what?
CC Backback.
Backback. I didn't know about that. Okay, but I mean, I have the both the Eraser and the remixes. The album, it's called the Eraser, right? His solo album.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a nice little digipack, kind of cardboard looking.
Yeah, and then there's a remix of the actual album that I think other artists did.
Yeah, it came out like 2 years later.
Yeah, I think Sun's on there, Suno or whatever's on there. So
Mhm.
I haven't listened to that in a long time. I'll have to pull that out. That's actually a good one to bring up at some point. All right, Brian, what you got?
Yeah, so been listening to a lot of Dungeon Synth, especially some of the older Mortis stuff, who was the original bass player in Emperor, kind of tying it back into the metal genre, metal adjacent type stuff. And he started doing making the Dungeon Synth in the 90s, and then in the like early 2000s he started doing some industrial stuff. So that's what I grabbed. I grabbed one of his industrial.
Oh, okay.
And this is called The Grudge. It's
I
from
got you
2000.
backwards, don't I? I mean, hang on.
Am I backwards?
I think you got mirror.
It's also
There you are.
an English title.
There you are.
Everything in the Dungeon Synth type stuff was all like Norwegian. So I saved the pronunciation to something quite easier for me. But I do like that he kept the whole like troll outfit, the whole trolls kind of gimmick.
Now,
The industrial stuff?
Did you see him when he was out with Mayhem back in March?
No.
Okay. Did any of you guys see him? Rick,
No.
you didn't see that, did you? So he was the opener. Or I'm sorry, it was 4 bands. It was some skeletal, some band from like a goth band from San Diego, and then it was Imperial Triumphant, and then it was Mortis, and he was doing all the he has a drummer on stage that does like the big kettle drums, and then he
Yeah,
does all
the
the
big
thing.
bombastic type.
And it is funny because I saw him after the show walking around. He's just got his normal, dreads, and he's just
Dreadlocks, yeah.
and he's a very nice guy. He's a very friendly guy. But
Yeah.
I gotta say though, man, it was a fucking snooze fest. I was just like man, I mean, it was like video game music come to life. You know what I mean? To me, that's what it was.
Have you ever listened to the more industrial type stuff?
I haven't, so I need to do that. Yeah.
I think there's another one called The Smell of Rain that's pretty good. It's more like, it's got some like 80s synth mixed with some like techno beats, and he kind of has like a voice modulator thing going on, and there's some metal guitar riffs. But a lot of these songs, some of these songs are pretty catchy.
Just to in what sense is this industrial?
The music,
Yeah.
I like it's got the metal guitar and
It's got Nine Inch Nails in
the
it,
loops,
especially that.
some synthesizer type
Okay.
stuff. This is not this album in particular is not like the dungeon synth stuff, but it's got the kind of bouncy techno beats going on, and then I mean, I don't know if it's like pure industrial. I'm not an industrial guy, so I don't know. That's just what I would call it. So if you got a better,
No, I don't know. I haven't heard it. So
Yeah, so I don't really know.
It actually has like eras. Like the first era was like the more dungeon synth.
Yeah,
And he went to this more very ambient, like very low frequency stuff. And there's the industrial side,
I think what
more electronic.
it's more electronic in that he adds some of maybe the Blue Dahls Nordisms kind of into it, except for not as chaotically weird as BAN, because BAN gets fucking out there. But you're talking about beats like the, you get that the you said the looping stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, trying to think of something like that what I could compare it to. That would, yeah, like maybe like Killing Joke when they were doing like the Millennium type stuff.
Okay.
That's maybe more metal, but still has some like that like futuristic type
Cyber.
that kind of stuff
going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you're Stunty. You're a big Killing Joke guy, right?
The two first albums. Then I like some of the sound. Actually, it's funny. I bought Millennium when it was released. That was my first Killing Joke
That was
because I'm
mine
of the
too.
age.
That was mine too.
And,
Yeah.
The album that they supposedly recorded in the Gizeh pyramid.
Pyramid. Yeah.
It is. I mean, yeah, they drew in. They tried to cash in on the on the trancey techno. So it's kind of a hybrid fusion album.
It's a
Like,
hybrid. Yeah.
yeah, it's. I mean, they were correct to do it at the time because it was. It kind of got them hyped again in a way.
Right.
But I think it was a little bit of a sort of short-term bet aesthetically. Like this is the kind of stuff that is bound to age very quickly, since it was really cashing in on a very specific sound of
the
trance
9
techno
inch.
of the time.
Well, it was kind of the 9 Inch Nails, the puppy, the front line, but instead they were pulling a little bit of that stuff in, but still keeping the more rock heavy.
I mean,
guitar.
I'm just saying that like if you like Killing Joke, and it's not the album that you will go to, you will recommend to anyone. Oh, this is how Killing Joke sounds.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
the thing about Killing Joke, though, the interesting thing about them is that really, depending on the era, they don't have a specific locked-in sound. The first 2 or 3 albums are very post-punk, right? They're very, because they're, and then you get into the nighttime and the Brighter Than 1,000 Suns, which is actually my favorite Killing Joke, Brighter, which is almost like a dance pop album. It's pretty much dancing.
Yeah, but I think that even in the early stuff and the stuff you named, there's a sort of like very distinct Killing Joke groove.
Right.
That whether like the early stuff is more like kind of a little bit industrial dub, and it's always kind of still some tracks are a little more dramatic, but there's also always tracks that are party. Killing Joke is is not Joy Division. Killing Joke is
Right.
a party
Yeah, they're
rock
more
and
up.
roll band in a
They're
way.
more up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The Mortis came out in the 90s, right? Like, and like what you said about it sounding a little, it can sound a little dated because if it's too particular to the time period.
Yeah.
I get that when I listen to like old Prodigy or like Chemical
Yeah.
Brothers, you
Yeah.
know, a little bit of that kind of stuff.
There
But
you go.
I
Prodigy is probably a good
I
comparison.
love the early Prodigy when it's like UK hardcore and like hockey
Yeah.
game music. Like that, it embraces the ridiculousness of it.
high energy.
Keith
stuff.
was such a
Hyper, yeah.
Keith was such a character though. He really made that band, you know, just as a spectacle. You know, it was the whole package. It was great.
All right, good one there, dude. Good one. All right, Stunty, you ready?
Yes.
Alright.
As a like, I had a plan of like five. We all were playing five records, and unfortunately, I couldn't find the ones I told you. So I'm kind of gonna cheat a little bit
That's all right. It's all right.
by showing two records to make for the one I wanted to show.
All right.
Which I wanted to show the single.
Hang
of-
on, just a sec. Hang on.
Yeah.
Stunty is let it be known that Stunty is pulling a Rick already, right away, right out of the gate. He's
No,
showing
not,
two
not
for one.
exactly. When I'm saying I'm showing two records, it's not to show two different records. It's like to combine them into the one record I wanted to show.
I'm kidding you, Rick. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
for Rick's edification because Rick
So-
does that. I just have one more thing to show you, and it's like 15 albums later. So,
So first, if you can reverse me because I'm.
oh, you're backwards. Okay,
I think
sorry.
you have the power to do that.
I never really know who's mirrored and who isn't. So there we go. All right.
So I wanted to show the single of
Ah.
Donna Summer, "I Feel Love."
Yes.
This features my second favorite Donna Summer song, "Spring," "Spring Fever." But so originally, "I Feel Love" was released, I believe, in '78 or '79
78.
as
I
a
think.
single produced by Giorgio Moroder.
Yeah.
But if you've ever heard that song in a dance club, in a nightclub, you heard the version that was remixed officially by Patrick Coley, who here is producing Sylvester, very similar music in a way, like high sexual energy music, repetitive, with lots of cyclic stuff happening because of the electronic production. And the Patrick Coley remix is almost 15-minute long. It's a journey. It's an epic journey. And
It's super
Patrick-
killer.
it's killer. Patrick
Yeah.
Coley, he had his own music with his label Menergy, Megatone, and he was one of the guys behind High Energy with Bobby Orlando in the early '80s. He was the more straight up dance floor pendant of Arthur Russell, who's another like avant disco hero in a way. But Patrick Coley was, as a lot of these guys, gay, and he was one of the early victims of AIDS.
AIDS. Yeah.
So he had a very short career, but like in the past few decades, he's been rediscovered, and lots of archival stuff of his work, a lot of gay porn movie soundtracks that he did actually, that is amazing, that were released by the label that I'm sure you know, Dark Entries from San Francisco.
Oh yeah, Dark Entry for sure. Yeah.
But
Um,
I guess that for a lot of people, I Feel Love was probably one of the earliest and first exposure to a sort of electronic music.
yes.
It's disco, so it's not the pure electronic music, but the way Patrick Coley was producing it and the way he was using electronic music, electronic sound, it was not to mimic and reproduce other sounds from the traditional orchestra, like in house music. House music is literally, we don't have, disco is out of fashion. We don't have, there's no economy to do that anymore. So we're going to use a drum machine to do the drum. We're going to use a bass synthesizer to do the bass. So it's not meant to be electronic music. Whereas in the type of disco that Patrick Coley and Giorgio Moroder was producing, there was a huge aspect of like investigating sound, like the stuff in Pink Floyd,
Right.
or Tubular Bells and stuff like that. It is much closer to that and to the true original goal and spirit of electronic music. but in this case, in the guise of hyper gay dance music, which
Yeah, the late 70s
yeah,
nightclub scene, that's where it all kind of emanated from. And I always forget about Donna Summer, man. Those, and it was 77, by the way, not 78. So that there is some fucking amazing production stuff going on for the late 70s on those Donna Summer albums. I mean, like way cutting edge. You know, Marauder, of course, tie in real quick to a show I saw, which Crazy White Boy from Baltimore brought up here. Tuesday night, I was down in Baltimore and I saw Frontline Assembly and Clock DVA, who I'd never heard Clock DVA, man. Man, were they fucking cool.
Hmm.
I got to find some of their original stuff. It's hard. It's not cheap. But the opener was N. Esh from KMFDM, and he did Juke Joint Jezebel, which Giorgio Moroder did, I believe, had something to do with the production of that. I think it was either the Neil album was Giorgio Moroder, or maybe it was that track. I don't remember. But kind of the tie-in there. So Moroder's not alive anymore, right?
no.
Yeah.
No, he is. Is
Is he really?
I'm pretty sure he is. Or if he passed, it was not that long ago.
He's got to be pretty old if he's still alive.
Yeah.
So, all right. I am going to.
Donna Summer, man. Like I saw a video not too long ago where there was an abandoned mansion that it was all boarded up, but when she passed, and people were just kind of all going inside of it and exploring, and kind of just
her old mansion. Yeah, it fell.
yeah. It was.
I
really
saw that
incredible.
too. It's like on a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. It's like it was pretty lavish, man. Like
I bet.
all the way till the end there, man. Like she worked hard for that money,
She did work hard for that. You were waiting. You were just waiting to say that, man.
Yeah.
You just were waiting to say that.
I remember a Sylvester song on that movie Trading Places. Do you remember when they're it's Do You Want a Funk, right? That's such a great
Do you
song.
want a funk?
Yeah.
Extremely high energy song.
Yeah.
And kind of like disruptive, which is what some of that disco was. When you listen to it, I mean, maybe back then it was the sound of the time, but for a lot of people now, I can imagine that when they hear that music, it would be they would be a little weirded out by how weird it is. Like this EP, I have a bunch of Sylvester, but this one is great because it features a sort of not fully a cappella, but like a beat a cappella version. So it's just his vocal and some stuff happening, and you can hear like the way he's singing is insane and like very heartbreaking in a way. And it can only exist with an electronic music production supporting it in this case. And I mean, look at him. Like this is just, I imagine being at a gig and having, like, I mean, no metal singers have anything on.
It looks like something looks like something Sun Ra will wear.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Sun Ra, but Sun Ra sexually active.
All right. I'm gonna jump in here quick, and I'm gonna do a twofer. And the reason I'm doing a twofer is because last episode we did last month, this was one of my choices, and I could not find it. And at the last second, I grabbed Tangerine Dream Zeit instead and showed that, which is it belonged to be showed anyway. But I just grabbed that as a last second thing. Well, I found these. I by accident I found them. I was dusting my shelf of 9 million box sets over here. All right, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but there's a lot of them over there. And it was really dusty. I'm like, man, I got to clean that shit up. And I ran across these two sets. So we're going to knock two birds with one stone out here. Good. And I know Stunty knows who this is, but you guys may not know who this is. So this is the Hafler Trio, which Scissors Cut Arrow, which is not a trio at all. It's essentially one guy nowadays. I mean, in the very beginning it was, but it's
at the very beginning it was a trio between one guy who's still there, Chris Watson, who had just left Cabaret Voltaire,
right,
and a third guy that doesn't exist.
That's right. The third guy doesn't exist. That's right. Right. Andrew McKenzie was Andrew McKenzie in Cabaret too?
No.
Are you sure? I thought he was
100%. He never was.
You would know that, I would say, but
I have
This guy has put out, I think when I looked on Rate Your Music, it was like 97 albums. I don't even know if that's exactly, probably many more things between mixes and EPs and singles and all that kind of stuff. That's not really important. But back in the early 2000s, when I had met Steven Wilson in 99, no stream. I can do no stream without mentioning Steven Wilson. So here we go.
Check
Here's
that
the
box.
obligatory, which by the way, I'll be
Yeah.
seeing Steven on Saturday and Sunday this coming, and Rick is hopefully going to be with me on Sunday, and we think we're going to go vinyl shopping with Steve on Sunday afternoon. So we'll stay tuned. We'll see if that happens or not.
Shop for some Sylvester singles.
I might look for some
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Donna Summer now, thanks to Stunty. Thanks for fucking my wallet up, dude. Anyway, the Halfler
It's
Trio.
cheap stuff. Come on.
Yeah, that stuff can be found. You're right.
It's
Pretty
going
easy.
there, man. Looking for some hot stuff.
So this is this was out of 500. I think what's my copy there?
218.
217.
218 out of 500. And what's one of Andrew's hallmark things is he just does this elaborate, over the top, crazy fucking packaging. Okay. And you're going to see that here with this box set, or it's kind of a box set, I guess you would call it. It's not really a box set because it was just the sessions that he created this dual. It's a 2-album. It's a double album or double CD. Each track is 53 and 59 minutes long. So, 100 and almost 2 hours of music. And then on top of it, the DVD is, which I think is only PAL. I don't think it works in an NTSC DVD player, if I remember correctly. But it's just another drone track. And this is dark drone ambient. It's just dark ambient, spectral, you could call it that. You could call it, it's a lot of it's just crawling sound that doesn't even really have any form or shape. It's kind of amorphous. You hear things kind of swell and then ebb and flow, and it's almost like, in some respects, it's almost like listening to the wind blow in a lot of ways. And then it's manipulated and run through filters and processing and whatnot. I'm sure Stunty, you'll have something to add to this, but what's Steven got me into this guy, and I have way more Halfler Trio than any normal human being should own. Okay, just to be right up front, I went crazy and started buying all this shit from a distro out in California that I don't know if you guys will know, but Stunty, you should remember it, and that was Aquarius Records out in San Francisco.
Who released a few records as well, some 7 inches. And
yep, and they had Tumult. Tumult Records was Andy. I forget his last name. Andy. Do you remember his name? Connors. Andy Connors. They put out the fucking the Weakling album, the Weakling CD, because one of the guys either worked there. John, what's his name? I forget his last name. Abrams or something like that. Something with an A. They all were tied in with this killer distro out in San Francisco at the turn of the millennium, and I think they've been around from the 90s on, but they were one of the early people to embrace putting MP3s, that's how far we go back, MP3s up of sound samples of albums and then they'd have these killer write-ups, man. Just like, I think their shit's archived somewhere, somebody told me, but I haven't gone looking for it in years. But man, I spent a fuck ton of fucking cash at Aquarius Records back in the early to mid 2000s, and this was one of them. I probably have 30 Halfler Trio CDs. I don't know. Have I listened to them a lot lately? No, I haven't. To be blunt with you, I was really into this dark ambient stuff. But then you can see the packaging is, okay, so it's got this sort of, a lot of the stuff is geometrically cut. It's got these, what do you call that? Not die cut, but the wet lathe cut, like it would be, they'd make 500 of these all the same, right? And then you got your discs, okay, and these little nubby thingamajiggers here that always fall off, the little glue-on deals.
The spongy
These are
kind.
still here, crazily, yeah. That, and then what you got inside then was, okay, so again, you've got all this, elaborate folded envelopes and shit. And then this is some stills, like literal photographs from the actual DVD. And it was of a live performance. That DVD is of a live performance, which back then live with him was a bunch of tape machines and reel to reels and early computer hard drive stuff, because this is early 2000s. And but you can see this just stuff that I haven't looked at in forever, but pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty wickedly. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I've only watched this once, and it's pretty spooky shit, man. Like, it's in a church he was performing in, and there's all these long dark drapes with weird lighting and everything, and it's head candy type stuff. So Rick, when your buzz kicks in really hard soon, go find yourself a copy of this. And
I wouldn't call it dark ambient though. Like, so at first, Half-Life Trio was purely like a genuine industrial band, like genuine
yeah.
industrial music.
Yep.
And so tape machines, loops, field recordings,
Yep.
noise generators, and stuff like that. And over time, he became more like straight up,
Ambient, dark ambient.
not dark. It's just like drony,
Drony.
ambient. So there's tension in it, but it's also very beautiful. It's
It
not
is.
about being scary or dark.
This
or
one's kind of menacing. This one I recall is pretty menacing, but most of them are more these
you know
floating
what?
fields.
For a long time, I had this image of them, and I had a bunch of records. It's funny that you chose them, since in the past 2 years I've been also on a big kick of getting all the records on vinyl that I like, because I think there's some that are great and some that are not. But I ended up, and sometimes the distinction between one that is great and one that is meh is very
It's a fine line.
tiny.
It's a fine line, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So I
here
have
you can
about
see
yeah.
more of the elaborate packaging with all these photographs that he took of at this abbey. I think it was at an abbey, and you can see what usually comes with his stuff, and I think you'll see it in this other one I'm going to not spend much time on, but show you real fast. These came out around the same time. I want to say, hang on, I had all that data written down. Let me just look. And this is on how do you say it? Phonometrography or something like that. That was the label. I'm looking real quick here. This one I believe came out in, oh shit, it's the only one I didn't write the date down for. I'll find it and tell you. These both came out around the same time, and that's kind of why I decided to show them both, because they're probably the most elaborate ones. Even his vinyl are pretty elaborate though. He would do die cuts.
He released like a bunch of different LPs, but like his favorite format, weirdly enough, is 10 inches and 7 inches.
Yeah.
He has a lot of 7 inches of quite short tracks, to be frank, which is counterintuitive when it comes to drone music. And at first, when I started to get interested in him, I was completely ignoring the 7 inches, and I thought like, okay, yeah, and now that's what I'm the most obsessed with in his discography. Because you know what? Sometimes when you do electronic music, pure electronic music, and you manage to create such an intense mood and adventure, whatever, as he is able to do, sometimes 2.5 minutes is just enough.
I'm looking here. Scissors Cut Arrow came out in 2004. And the DVD is a PAL. Yeah. So I'm actually not going to go into this one now, just in the expedience of keeping time. But I have another Half-Life Trio you're going to see in the future. This was kind of a sister. I think that came out in 2004 and this came out in 2003. And again, it's a limited to 500 deal. I kind of thought these would be worth a shit ton of money one day. They are. I mean, this one's not cheap, but it's not like crazy money. Like I thought they'd be like, oh, this will be worth like $500. It's not quite like that at all. There's 500 of them, so it's not, and it's a very small.
It will become eventually. It will become.
It might. Yeah,
no, I can tell you, it will, because he has managed to establish himself as a quite prominent figure in the underground of industrial music, and his music isn't dated. and
Wow.
he has nice packagings. Like
yeah.
a lot of it is really limited. A lot of the 7 inches and 10 inches are 500 or less, sometimes much less. And people who are into that, they're obsessed with that, as you can
Yeah.
attest. And so it's cool packages. It's
Yeah,
cool.
it is. It is.
It's
cool
stuff that is cool to collect. It's not just the cool music; it's the objects and all that. So
The weird thing though is if you have a standard like CD rack or shelf, this shit does not fit because it's all weird sizes and weird stuff. So it's like kind of one of those, you got to have its own dedicated area. You know what I mean, for that stuff. So, all right, Rick, get you in for number 2.
All right. This one's gonna be quite different.
Okay.
So this is an artist that
before you start, Rick, did Jeff manage to make his presentation longer than the 3 of us combined?
I may have.
I would
I think
say,
so, huh?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
That wasn't all that long.
Long-ish.
You know what? When this is over, I'm going to time. I'm going to time you motherfuckers. And if you're wrong, you will hear about it. I guarantee it. Rest of mine, I won't be as deeply involved on that one. That one, you got to show all the stuff. That's the thing. You know what I mean? All right. Go ahead, Rick.
All right. So this is something I got at a record store some time back and started exploring a little bit of his stuff. So this is I think this is one of those artists that make most of their, I guess, prominent, releases on Bandcamp. So this is like a Bandcamp guy.
Okay.
And it's got a lot of stuff. Like I think most of it is digital, but he obviously has physical because I'm holding one now. And so American guy, which I believe he lives in Japan. And he goes by the name of Will Long.
Oh,
Will Long. I don't know if you ever. So, but the pseudonym is, I think, it's Celer.
Yeah.
Celer.
Ambient.
Oh, Ambient. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Didn't he pass away?
I don't know. No, actually, I think unless there was stuff being released afterward. I think there's even a new release this year.
I thought he was like Seller was maybe him and his girlfriend one, and maybe the girlfriend passed away or someone, and he maybe I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Go on, sorry.
That would be news to me. If that's the case. Oh man, that'd be a bummer if that's true. But anyway, so this is one of his releases from going back to 2012, called I, like letter I, Anatomy, and from what I read, I think this is a collection of his EPs, kind of put together as kind of like a 2 LP set. So you look at that, and it looks kind of trippy, man. It's almost like, and I'm looking at this at the store, and I'm thinking it's something psychedelic, right? It just completely has
wow,
the
that's
vibe.
badass.
You would think it is, right?
Yeah.
And but no, it's actually so. But for those who don't know, so there's just the name Seller,
Okay.
and so there was a remixed version of this released in 2015, I think it was, which was supposed to be on CD, but it never happened. Again, I don't know what the circumstances was behind that. It's got more of a white cover, so that's how you can tell the difference between the takes. But this is the original one, and so very long tracks. I mean, it's mostly ambient. You were talking like almost 20 minutes, each, and for somebody to put something like this in, there are sounds of people like laughing, children talking, like kind of put over this. So there's just sounds of, which makes it sound very alive. You know what I mean? Like there's a bit of a lively thing kind of happening, and it kind of makes me think of like this would be the perfect material to bring with you if you're going on some kind of space capsule. Like think of like Space Odyssey, right? Like you're on a ship. Right, you haven't seen Earth, right? You've been removed from the essence of just civilization and humanity and just the daily interaction, the warmth, which we all take for granted every single day. We go out. As a matter of fact, we may refrain, so people may annoy us, so we just lock ourselves back in our room so we can escape that whole world. This is kind of like the reversal of this, right? So you would, if you're on your space capsule, you probably wouldn't be playing this on vinyl, right? Like, it'd be some kind of digital thing, right? But if you want to kind of reel back to the memories of what Earth was like, and how alive it was, and what was to interact day to day with people and hear children laughter, like all that stuff, this puts you in. This is something you want to listen to alone, which I think we probably do anyway with a lot of this ambient stuff. But when you do,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I want to remember what Earth was like. You know what I mean? What was like the feeling of it?
So,
You know,
so it's a lot of found sound stuff then?
not a found sound, samples of just things kind of going up, but along with like the sort of rumble, the ambience kind of, there's this overlay
Okay.
kind of over it. You know, it just kind of like, you know, it's very interesting. Like this is something I think that you know, if you ever watch a movie like this where there's a lot of like the low hums because of the spaceship, you know what I mean? It's just kind of that's what it means to me. I mean, for somebody else, it'd be something completely different. But you know,
From what I remember, it's not like it's interesting because the way you describe it, which was actually pretty good. I'm not a huge. I know him, and I just double check, and it's exactly what I thought. He was doing the music with his girlfriend, wife, and she passed away in 2009, and he's been
Okay.
doing it alone since then.
okay.
Okay.
But it's always been music that was kind of. It's not creepy at all. It's
No,
not
no,
dark
no,
at
no.
all. It's not new age, but it's kind of almost new age in a way.
Okay.
It's bright though. You know, what I mean,
very bright.
this cover was very deceptive. You know, we would not think. Again, I
Hey,
picked it up blind
Rick.
by it's like something psychedelic.
Rick, tilt the thing back towards you. Yeah, right like that.
Okay,
There.
the light, yeah. Okay.
Oh man, that's fucking cool artwork though. But you know but that to me almost looks like something you'd see from a dungeon synth artist, or maybe like a black
Yeah.
metal dungeon.
That's why it appealed to me. I walked by it. You know what I mean?
You know
I'm like,
what, Jeff? It will, like, when you just know the label this was released on, which is Streamline. It looks like a legendary Pink Dots cover,
Yeah, legendary pink dots. Okay, that's
like
okay.
kind of mystical,
yeah,
artsy,
very
creepy.
artsy fartsy sort of kind of. Yep.
very long in the background, very background stuff.
Now
you know,
that was used, obviously, right? You got that used somewhere?
yeah, oh yeah. Very minimal. Even down to the labels.
Yeah, look at
You
that.
know, not trying to be flashy at all. I mean, you know, a little bit of that, pieces of the artwork. The remix of the CD, looks more like this. It's white instead of the dark. You know, if you're looking for it,
You'll
you might
recognize
wanna grab
this. The artwork reminds me a lot of that thing that Stapleton worked with, that Aeolian ensemble. What would they call it? Aeolian harp ensemble or something? You know the one I'm talking about?
Nose for wound.
I'm going to show it one of these episodes. So it's Stapleton did work with this group of harp Aeolian wind instrument ensemble, something it's called. And I'm
Didn't
not
come out on vinyl then.
okay. Well, that was one of the ones I got from the distro out in San Francisco, and I saw Stapleton because that was when I was getting into Nurse with Wound, because Steven kind of, hey, you need to check out this and that, and that's kind of where I ended up. But that's a cool one. But the artwork's very Aeolian.
It's very tiny. Like it says eye anatomy for those who are looking for it. There you go.
Let me see. It's called. I have it in one of my. It's called Aeolian String Ensemble. Check that one out. It's pretty fucking cool, man. It's not one of my picks tonight, though. But Brian, you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Speaking of dungeon synth covers and what they should look like, this is pretty much
Oh, well, there you go.
right on, right? This is my the next.
Looks
pick.
like a
This is-
prog record from the 70s by a
It does, doesn't it?
Belgian band.
Yeah, you're
That's pretty
right.
cool. Oh yeah.
There it is.
Cloak figure
There's Rick Wakeman's alter ego
with
right
a sword. Now this is okay. I actually here we go. I typed in the chat because I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce it right or if you can tell what that says. It's Owblief?
there.
Oublief?
Oublief.
I don't know. So yeah, I was getting a lot into checking out different dungeon synth artists recently, and this was given like a new like subgenre. It was considered old school dungeon synth / Berlin style, which is kind of interesting because it has like that old school like traditional fantasy based dungeon synth sound, but then they also mix it with like kind of the spacey Tangerine Dream type sounds. So it's kind of interesting. This one's called Morn Lance. So still really steeped in fantasy, but they kind of try and mix the two into one kind of cohesive sound. And I don't know, they do it pretty well, mixing like the sci-fi and the fantasy together into like these kind of epic soundscapes.
What
it's
was
just
what was the genre you said? Because I was fucking around with my fan. What was the
it's given this tag of like old school dungeon synth / Berlin style. So like Berlin style,
well, that's krautrock then.
Right, yeah. So
No,
but to my ears, it's like, and I'm not.
Berlin School is
Berlin
literally
School,
the
yeah.
kind of more new agey, minimal electronic music.
Yeah. So that's and that's a lot of it's like the kind of the single. I don't even know. I'm not a musician, so it's hard for me to really describe it. But
just on that artwork alone, I got to go check it out. It's too cool.
Yeah.
The artwork's too cool. I got to check it out.
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of like there's no like percussion or anything. It's just pretty simplistic, not simplistic, but straightforward. I would just call it like, I mean, it like soundscape type stuff.
Yeah, I love that artwork, so I got to go check it out. At Bandcamp or what? Bandcamp probably the best place to find it.
Yeah. And I put the spelling in the chat so you can.
All right, so real quick before we move forward, Stunty was complaining about my fan. Unfortunately, it is. Hang on, it's fucking super hot in my room. I don't even understand why, because the rest of the house doesn't feel like this, but it got very warm here. It got like 80, 86, 87 degrees today. Can you hear it now?
No.
All right, let me ask you one more time. Hold on.
Here's the other one. Here's the other one that I have. It's kind of cool cover too. Very same style. But
Yeah, great artwork, man.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Where are they from?
I'm not for sure, but I believe Quebec.
Oh, okay.
Just a guess. I mean,
I love how it says, it plainly says dark ambient
yeah.
in the back.
I think that's
It does
out
say
of,
that.
the label's out of season. I think that's part of their way of describing things. It's not really. I don't know if you guys would call it dark ambient, but
Well, they had to put like people might pick it up thinking it's like Dark Throne or something. You know what I mean? It's just like it
has that
It
vibe,
has that vibe.
generous vibe. Yeah. On this from the artwork. Yeah. All right, real quick. Can you hear it?
No, it's fine now.
All right, I figured out a way to shield the mic. So, all right, it is fucking. I don't know, Rick. Is it hot? You're down your way today, man? Because it is fucking hot as shit here.
It's cooling down. Well, it's nighttime, so I don't know.
It was warm in my room. I just checked before we went live. It was 86.4 degrees. And with my dysautonomia, that you know how that goes for me. So, all right, Stunty, you're up.
So, what you just showed, I could have gone with another record related to what I'm going to show. But so Half-Hour Trio, they did a bunch of collaborations. Namely, they did a series of 3 different CDs with Ottaker.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know who Ottaker is basically is one of the 2 main bands on Warp Records. So basically, they are with Aphex Twin, the big names of that kind of music,
Right.
and they are more pure experimental in a way than Aphex Twin, who's more poppy in a way. They also come from electro and hip hop originally, but now their music is so freeform. I wanted to show their last album, which so basically, if you can see over me here, from there to there, it's only Ottaker.
Wow.
So it's
Before the
one
roof
of the
collapses. Before the roof collapses.
yeah. But they are kind of extreme. They're basically nowadays they tour whenever they need some, some cash, I guess, and they do an album every now and then, and they're in a position where they don't have to care at all about how it sounds. People will
Right.
buy it anyways, and so much so that they have the privilege of doing stuff like that. A 12 LP album,
Oh my
a
god, look at
12 LP
Wow.
studio album.
Jesus.
damn, dude.
A lot of
That's
music.
how much was that thing? I'm
What does it weigh?
a
I can
lot.
tell you, like the box to ship it was was designed for it, and
When did that come out?
I think it was like 5 years ago, maybe. No, more, 2018.
And what's
They
that
have.
one called?
Sorry,
What's that one called?
it's called NTS Sessions. So basically, there's this online radio station called NTS, and these were improvisations that they were doing for that they did a special residency there, and that's the result of it. I've had the privilege of meeting them a few times, even playing with them, and they are really, yeah, interesting people, but absolutely on the top of their game. So they don't have to care about anything, about anyone's opinion, because they're so much ahead of the game.
They have.
Originally, I wanted to show a 12-inch EP from 2001 that was really interesting to me, called Gant's Graph. And when you hear the track in 2001, it literally sounds like the music from the future. But as in a sci-fi novella, or a novel, yeah, like a
Yes.
Jules Verne record novella, where there's this idea of the future that may not necessarily manifest in reality, but that is still the incarnation of all what we can project of what would be the most advanced technological future. And in 2001, they did that, and ever since then, there's been no point in doing that anymore, because they kind of reached a sort of plateau.
Yeah.
Because the whole 90s was a sort of race of who was going to sound the more futuristic, and they did. And after that, there's no point in doing that anymore. We reached that, so now it's almost only about pure experimentation and how to subvert the codes of different other types of music that already exist. So they exist in their own sort of paradigm, outside of dance music, outside of IDM, outside of everything,
Yeah,
which is
nobody sounds like them. Nobody sounds like them. And just so
basic.
you know,
Yeah.
just so you know, real quick, I did show Try Repite last episode 2, and we actually played Guy. I think we played Gyral. I think. I'm not sure which track I pulled up, but the 8 or 9 minute track, and that's kind of if you really want to get, and I think you'll agree with me on this, with regards to Autechre, Try Repite is almost like their pop album in a weird way. It's kind of it's almost listenable to people who don't know what to expect. Whereas
I
they
think
get
it would
more,
be Ember. Ember would be the one, because
oh,
it
that's
has
probably yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, it's still very. And how I phrased it was hearing Autechre, who by the way I went to get a ticket for the Philadelphia show next month, sold the fuck out. Dude, they sold Union Transfer out, Rick. 2 guys with laptops sold out a Union.
Play in the dark, like in
Playing in
pitch
the dark,
black
yeah.
dark.
So, and the tickets originally were like, I think they were like $40. Now they're on the secondary market. They're going for $128. I got to think whether I can do that, but I kind of want to do it. But what I said about them was essentially if you crash landed on a planet in the future, and like sometime in the future, you traveled through, light years through space, and you landed on this planet, and all the machinery and the factories and everything was making noises and functioning, but there were no other human beings around. That's kind of what Autechre sort of sounds like, but even then, it's not even that accurate.
There were obviously they were commissioned music for like Volkswagen, BMW, uh, TV commercials and stuff like that. They did a lot of remixes that were very in demand, in high demand during the 90s.
Right.
I remember that during the 90s, whenever they had a new record out, and I was like an early fan of it. Like I was really there when the first album hit, and I remember that each new record was ahead of me in the sense that I was buying it and then I don't know what to think about it. And it always took me like
Yeah.
6, 7,
Yep.
9, 12 months to, oh yeah, this is genius.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
then they had a new record and it was back to square one.
Fair one, yeah, and they really are that kind of band where there's no real rule. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Everything they do is completely experimental to the point where, like you said, you really don't know what to expect except for it's gonna sound like Altecker because they sound like nobody else. Just that.
I booked them in 98 for a festival. By then they still had hardware. After that they only did with laptops, and with laptops they were the main software that they were using is Max MSP. Max MSP is literally a software where you create instruments that don't exist, that can't
Yeah.
exist in the real world. So all of their tracks nowadays are the result of an instrument they built virtually to
They
make that
created
track.
virtually. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, Aphex kind of was doing that too. I don't know if they predated him or if he predated them.
So the difference is that literally, I mean, there will often be like the ghost of a structure that kind of echoes hip hop, like in tempo.
For-
It's not
for-
super high tempo
Mhm.
most often. There will be exceptions, and but they Aphex is more about synthesizers and machines and all that, where they are about pure synthesis and
Experimentation.
abstraction in a way,
Yeah.
both in rhythm, melody, harmony, and structure.
All right. So,
So-
what do you want to say about the 12 album thing? Then that will.
So I'm obviously a big. It's one of the few bands that I I accept to be deemed a fan of because
Mhm.
up until recently I have every single thing they've done on vinyl. They just released a remix that I didn't like, and it's the very first record of theirs that I didn't buy. I have something like about 130 records with their name on that I bought because of that. This one, I mean, it's 12 LPs, 2018. I still haven't digested it fully,
Yeah. Right.
obviously, which is cool. I mean, whenever, imagine you have a band that is really core to your musical identity and upbringing, and you still have a shitload of stuff
To get through.
to get through.
Yeah. That's
Is it
also
supposed to be listened to as one piece, like one?
No,
single
it's
album,
a
or-
collection of a lot of tracks.
Okay, gotcha.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
they also call that Stunty in the mouth of madness. Like that whole trip that I got, I bought this 3 weeks ago. I still haven't even put it on the table yet. And I'm like, fuck, I gotta start listening to this thing. But we all have that illness, shall we call it? It's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of illnesses that are very bad, but the collector illness, it's a real goddamn thing. It's a real thing.
There's
So,
a lot of metal guys who are obsessed with Altecker as well, in the sense that a band like Ulver, for example,
Mhm.
owes a shitload to Altecker
Yep.
for sure.
And am I not wrong? They've had some remixes.
No, not Ulver, but like it could have been.
I
But
could
no,
swear
they did remixes of Mersbau, of Neu, of but no.
Okay, I thought they meant. No, I meant Ulver. Thought Ulver did a remix.
No, what's fun with Optiker is that their very first release on Warp, the Basketed EP, which is a triple 10-inch box set, has some remixes by other bands like Seafield, Bomb Hannant, and since then, they've never accepted to have anyone remix their
Remix
music.
their stuff. Okay.
They just remix others, except for one exception. When Warp was celebrating their 10th anniversary, they did a box set of like
a bunch of
homage between the bands, and then they had to accept someone
Right.
doing a remix of theirs.
I'm hoping to go see them at the end of October, but man, I that price of that ticket, I was like, whoa, because I know you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I've seen artists that do the laptop thing, and it's depending on what
I hate it.
yeah, depending on what's going on behind them. Like Clock DVA did a really cool thing. They had a lot of great visuals, but it's basically just his vocals while there was a dude doing some percussion, but that was about it, pads, you know what I mean? But it was just manipulation. Like I watched William Basinski 2 years ago. He's very entertaining, but it's not like watching.
I mean, that kind of performance was new and fun in 2000, 2001. By 2003, I was over that.
It's kind of played out.
But a band like Ottaker, it's not that they use a program to make their music in the computer. It's like the computer becomes the instrument to a level that you have to accept it. And they acknowledged it by playing in the dark. I'm going to see them in Bristol on November 6th or 7th. I'm playing a gig in Bristol on the 8th, so I decided I'll go 2 days before.
Nice.
And
cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. But I guarantee you, how many did they make of that set?
They did quite a lot, actually.
Okay.
Like they did at least 3,000 of that.
Okay, so it wasn't like a super limited thing then, or like
no. And they also released it, I think, as 6
CD.
double LPs.
Didn't they do a CD set of that as well, though? Too.
I mean, like people. Yeah. Ottaker is one of these few. So basically, they are totally free. They are free to be completely artistic in the way they want, and there are the one band that there's not a spot for that many bands in the world, in the industry, in the business, and they are privileged to be like one of the few bands like that will always have an audience that is significant enough so that they don't need to do anything but that. So they're totally free.
Okay, sounds good, man. We'll move on so we can get Brian and Rick to bed. Rick's probably already fallen asleep from his THC already.
I'm actually okay.
You all right? Okay. All right, I'm up next. I'll go with I'm gonna go with the first one that I gotta pull up on the screen here. Just give me a moment here. There we go. Now I've showed one other album by this artist. Stunty's a big fanatic of this artist as well. Probably owns everything he's put out or a lot of it. I don't own everything. I have a lot of it. I do have quite a bit, but and this one is kind of interesting. This is called this is Nurse with Wound, by the way, and the album is called Shipwrecked Radio Volume 1. There are 3 volumes. Initially there were 2, and then they put out like a compilation thing of leftovers at the end, I think, which is called Lofoten Deadhead. Mm-hmm. This one here, and I got to get out of this. Let me just do. There we go. So I'm going to read a little bit about what this was. I mean, you can read it on there, but I just so I know, it was a series of albums by Nurse with Wound, with also, I believe, Colin Potter was involved, right?
It's the 2 of them, yeah.
Right.
This one.
And they were commissioned by this Kunst I Nordland group, two people, Anna.
Kunst in Norland, it literally means art in the north.
Okay. And they went up to Lofoten, Norway, which is a like a little. Is it an island off the coast, or is it right on?
It's a very small archipelago of islands.
Archipelago, there you go, right. And basically, they were commissioned to come up and take found sound and just walk around and record. With portable microphones and recording equipment, and just record it's a fishing village. It's like that's pretty much all it is, and I don't even think that many people live there year round. And they were essentially commissioned just to do these recording sessions, and I guess there were 20 of them that were made. No, it was 24 broadcasts in total. Each are between 15 and 30 minutes in duration. Each broadcast starts with the very beginning. There's like a jingle that says, I don't know what that says.
Welcome till Ulver, which means welcome
Welcome
to.
to Utvar, right?
Yeah.
And and basically what they are, and Stunty, you'll probably have something to say about this, is they're field recordings, found sound recordings of Stapleton and Colin Potter's living up there for 2 months, and each day or each week, I forget what it was. I think it was each week they would do a live broadcast of these tape manipulated things that they created. And for the most part, I only own 1 and 2. I don't own the Lofoten Deadhead thing. I never ran into it anywhere and didn't search it out. Kind of felt like I had enough with the 1 and 2. But this is really cool stuff, man. This is really cool stuff to put on your headphones at night and just kind of meld into the sound world around you. And a lot of it is just, there's fishing trawlers and foghorns and people talking and
And a shitload of drones because
a lot of drones, a lot of like
they-
quaking drones that kind of, things like
that they basically use to make it like soundscape drones, but it's literally coming from environmental field recordings.
Right, field recordings. So
Like someone from a boat or something.
yeah, there was stuff you can hear things like rigging in boats and bells.
You know how, like inside of the boat, the hollow part, which
hull?
often has a very specific acoustic, the reverberation,
The
that's what
resonations
they would
of it,
be
yep.
using.
You can hear waves lapping at times. You can hear wind blowing. I mean, it's all kind of, but all of it is underpinned with some sort of manipulation of the sound. And like nothing, only the first track on the first side. And by the way, the tracks are named as dates. So it's like whatever that date is, that was the sound recording they made that day and created. And Stapleton and Nurse with Wound, man, I mean, again, you probably know how many recordings he's done, thousands, I would assume, but I don't know how many albums he has, maybe 100 in that range, somewhere around there.
Proper albums, studio albums, he has about like 70, but he has, if you count everything that is kind of an album length or somewhat, it's like,
Yeah,
and
he's done a lot of
yeah.
contributions. Current 93, like he's worked with a bunch of these guys.
He's a graphic designer as well. He basically, one thing that he only mentioned in one interview ever, quite a long time ago. As a 17-year-old kid, he was actually working for Hypnosis, the design studio,
For Storm Thorgerson, yeah.
and he is actually the guy who was commissioned to paint the cover of Animals by Pink Floyd when he was 17.
That's right.
That's
you told
his
me
first.
that.
Oh,
He's
wow.
the first professional work. He's 17. He did the cover of Animals by
Pretty cool.
Pink Floyd, and then
But-
he did so many others. Coil, so many.
The thing with Nurse with Wound is, though, again, he's kind of an artist with no real boundaries. He just, and I don't like everything he does. I mean, there's stuff he does that I'm like, all right, that's not my thing. Some of the more the Dada-esque stuff, like, I'm not a huge fan of that album that you showed, the original, the Chance Meeting. It's okay. It's pretty noisy. It's music concrete. It's got a great.
It's more like a krautrock noise record.
Yeah, it's krautrock noise. Yep. But he's done, super droney stuff. He's done shit like, and I did show, I believe, on the first episode we did. I'm pretty sure I showed Soliloquy for Lilith, I think. Yeah, which is just all kind of him noodling around on a guitar and creating all kind of sonic weirdness. And
It's not guitar.
yeah, the foot pedal.
Oh yeah. But
the
it's
foot pedal.
I would say that Soliloquy for Lilith, which I have somewhere here, it's a triple LP box set, great design. It's
Mhm.
the first time you have drone music identified as drone music in popular music.
True. Yeah. So I mean, it's stuff I like that aspect of what he does more than some of the more avant weird stuff, but I do like a lot of the weird stuff too. And I was, the other album I was going to show by him, which I think it has one of his most beautiful pieces ever. But I'm going to save that for later. The funeral music, that one. But this is cool. This is very heady stuff. It's really late night stuff. You don't have to be high. You can be. You don't have to be drunk. You can be. But it's really cool stuff to just veg to and just kind of drift. And I it's one of my favorite pieces of work from him. And I think
It's
I favorite.
interesting. Like for me, when that was released, I was a little bit, oh, okay, this is a little bit too conceptual for me. I like it, and I noticed that the records of his that I liked the least were the most rock and roll ones. He did a bunch in the 90s,
Yeah, they're the ones I don't like much either. Yeah.
and with Pete Bog. But over time, like I always said, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of Nurse Susan because I still have the possibility to not buy everything from him. I still have my critical judgment. But
Right.
every other year, the few records I don't like, I just give them a fair new chance. And I think I'm
Sometimes
there.
you
I
come
think there's
around.
nothing of his that I don't find actually interesting. And he's starting to do these incredible editions and limited releases that are. It's not just a limited edition; it's the whole release has only one edition that is amazing, and they cost a lot of money. Some of them, like 5, 6, 700 euros. But you get something really exclusive. And now my joke is that I would. I mean, he's probably the coolest artist to be into as a collector because he's a
Yeah.
designer as well, and he does crazy concepts. And often he's a painter, so he has some original artwork, covers and picture disc. But I've come to realize that as a joke that I would be better off financially if I paid a hired killer to off him now than all the money I will spend in the next 20 years he has left to produce new stuff.
I'm gonna make sure his management gets this. All right, we'll move on from there. Rick, number
Just by the way, the record you showed is
Mhm.
about to be issued on vinyl as a triple LP box set.
for the shipwreck.
Yeah.
How limited?
500.
When's that coming out?
I guess early, like
26.
the beginning of the year. They
Okay.
just got the test pressings.
Thanks a lot, Stunty. Thanks for letting me know that. Appreciate it.
There's
All right, Rick.
never a shortage of things to buy.
No, never.
I'm gonna pull a Brian here. It shows something very black metal looking. It's actually
Yeah.
actually, so
Let's see.
I found this through recommendation from Count Blagorath, of all people.
Oh wow.
He did. You know how impassioned he can be with when he's really into something, right?
Right.
And this is no exception. And so this is a release from 2012, right? So him doing a dark ambient kind of review on something, I'm like, man, he's actually really selling me on this, right? So so this is Orbis, and you could tell right away, like this got to be something like he was showing him first. I'm thinking it's black metal, but as he got kind of into it and describing it. So this is there's 3 releases. A fellow by the name of Paul Darkins, based out of the UK, and I think this is the only one on CD. He likes to release his stuff on tape, which I guess as a matter of fact, it's got a very analog sound for something that's for what it is. But so this release is called, it's because it's a long title, The Unquestionable Chapters of a World Forgotten.
Ah,
How serious does that sound?
man, that looks like a cover of a fucking Satyricon album. I
Yeah,
swear. to God.
I'm telling you, man, it's got the whole look at that logo, man. That thing.
Oh yeah. So is it black metal? Is it dark ambient black metal?
It's definitely dark ambient. It's not black metal. But it would
Oh,
appear.
well, that dude does not look black metal though.
Not really. Although if you look at
He
him,
doesn't have a cloak or a sword. What's
Here's
going
the
on?
thing.
He looks
though.
like a cadaver.
hold on, put that back up there. If you take that long hair off of him, he looks like fucking Lurch from the Addams Family.
Yeah,
Right?
or Sal Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He
it's
looks like the Adams Family version of Evan Dendo from the Lemonheads.
Evan Dando, yeah, it does look like Evan
Oh.
Dando, yeah.
With the
Good one.
comb over.
yeah. So this stuff. What's interesting about the way he does his, I guess, his ambient stuff is he does no re-recordings. He doesn't do samples whatsoever. It's all original recordings. Well, again, like what a lot of these, and it's kind of something that Blagovoff was trying to emphasize. Why this kind of sets it apart from what the other guys, the way they approach it. Like I
What
said,
year is this from?
2012. I was just about to say, recorded between 2011 and 2012, and
Do they still have Hotmail out there? Does that Hotmail?
I was gonna say, yeah. As of this year, AOL officially ended. Just so
Oh,
people-
did it really? Okay, wow.
as of
Just
this month. As
wow.
of this month.
is that guy's MySpace page on the back of that there too?
No, I think it's what
They
the
might
hell?
have post-dated.
SoundCloud. It's a SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Wow.
Yeah. This is like, if you want to know what it might be like listening to the sounds of the Earth's mantle, like there's a lot of geological activity
Mm.
feeling to this. It's got, like I said, it's got a very earthy. I mean, I used the word analog. It's got a very earthy feel to it. Like there's a mounting pressure. Like there's this weight. It's almost like, kind of post-apocalyptic kind of a
bubbling
vibe.
and gurgling beneath the surface.
So is it Lust Morty?
Yeah, it's
Is it Lust Morty or Trom or like that?
It doesn't sound as stark as Less More though.
Yeah. Lust Morty.
this gets pretty dark. but and it's a rumbling kind of way. That's why I was trying to say with the weight, it almost feels like the aftermath of a gigantic super volcanic eruption or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you're like a few survivors, and you still feel the pressure
I'm
and
intrigued.
the weight of everything around you. It's just like, it just feels crushing in that kind of way.
Oh, now that
Yeah.
you hold it steady, I realize it's a skull kind of or a face. That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah,
What's flying out of it?
The
Birds?
birds or the bees or the
Birds or
I
bees?
guess.
Flies. Flies. Okay. Progeny of flies, man. That's Daniel Menchie.
Yeah, so recommendation from Blagovoff. Thought to check it out. It's cool. It's unsettling though, just because it's got that post-apocalyptic essence to it. You play that, you definitely feel the weight put on you.
Is Bloggerot still doing stuff?
Not
You know,
doing very
videos?
well. His health kind of. I think he just
Yeah.
had surgery, or he's going through like a lot.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, so I hope it turns out well, whatever that procedure.
But he was doing a lot of regular videos. Then did he drop off again?
I think he just put out something. Somebody sent him like a care package or something. As a matter of fact, I think
Okay.
he did a video on that. So that's pretty cool.
All right, Brian, what you got?
All right, looking at the time, I'm just going to make this my last one and open up my little box here. We were talking about stuff that was bright and colorful. This is Ceramic Mist. It's got a little flip. It's very pink. It's a very pink cassette.
It's pretty pink.
Very pink.
Some guy named Brian sent me that too.
I did well, yeah, because when I was streaming this on Bandcamp and it got a tape release, and it was like, I'm not just gonna buy one. I liked it so much that I wanted one, but I didn't want anything else from their collection distro. So I just bought two of the same thing and sent Rick one.
Thanks again, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's I guess you'd call it dungeon synth. It came out on this Realm and Ritual Records.
Yep. They do very low runs on their stuff.
And it's but it's like bright and kind of it's not dark really at all. They tend to take like one melody and repeat it, but then add a bunch of percussion or like bells or like clicks and clacks around the
Whoops. I didn't know it was going to start on me there. I was going to say we'll play it since you're gonna take off early.
yeah
We'll play it before
really
after you're done talking. Yeah.
yeah.
It's 10:43 here, man. 9:43 out your way, isn't it?
9:43. Yeah.
Bedtime at 10.
Well,
Then, yeah.
think about how late it is for me then.
It's 3 a.m. for Stunty. It's going on
It's-
5
it's-
a.m. now.
Bless
Almost
his heart.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought this is this is a cool release, and it gets a lot of replay. So yeah, if you want to go and play,
Yeah, we'll give it a quick,
like 2 minutes, but play whatever you want.
Yeah, it's a pretty short one. We'll give it a quick run here. Just nobody talk during it because I have to turn echo cancellation off because I'm running it through the streaming program. So, all right, we'll go for it. Just maybe mute yourself on your end real quick, guys. Oh, it's kind of. Can everybody hear?
Yeah.
Okay. So it
You
reminds.
have to turn echo cancellation back on.
Yeah,
No, it's off.
Oh, I can hear myself in you.
It might be on your end because it's the echo cancellation's on.
just there.
Yeah.
I'm echoing too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to tell you then.
Echo.
What about now? What about now?
You're not echoing.
Well, yeah,
No.
it's still there.
I still hear the echo.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know what the fuck goes on with this thing. Son of a bitch, man. That happened one other time. And I don't know why. Is everyone's unmuted right now?
Yes.
And it's echoing bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still hear it.
Fuck, man. All right, stay where you're at. I'll be right back. Stay there. Brian, hang out 1 minute.
Yeah, I noticed the when he was doing it on Bandcamp, it was a little echoey too. It was just a little off than the way it usually sounds the on the Bandcamp page.
But now that he's gone, we have no echo. Huh?
Funny how that works.
True. Is there a correlation?
How about now?
Well, it's gone.
Gone.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what happens. Sometimes a loop occurs. What I need to do is get my fucking Focusrite set up and go through that. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that it sounds a little bit like what I would envision a medieval Kitaro would sound like. You know who Kitaro is?
No.
Kitaro was like this. Like I don't know if he's still alive.
I got like 3 Kitaro CDs. They had really nice covers too, man.
They always had nice. They were kind of metal looking covers. A lot of Japanese metal.
House of Red.
but yeah, Japanese sort of new age artists, kind of like maybe like I don't want to say Yanni, not that lame, but kind of in that vein. But that's what it
Yeah,
reminded me of. So
now you say new age, like that's probably where I should have let off with. Like it does have a
got a bit of a new agey vibe to it. Yeah. What were your other two selections that you want to just show them real fast?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just move on.
All right.
Go.
You got
All good.
I didn't find it sounding evil at all. I thought it
No.
just sounded like quirky, outsider, post-industrial.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it was like it had a bit of a vibe of like that nerdy dude in high school that was like he played the clarinet and then he discovered a monophonic synthesizer and was like
Yeah.
kind of like almost has a Devo vibe to it in a weird way. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm not making fun of it. I was just like, that I can envision some super nerd like making that stuff up.
Yeah, and it does kind of have, like you mentioned, what was it, Guitaro? It does have a look throughout the whole, cassette.
A little bit of an Asian vibe to it. Yeah.
There is
That's what I
some of
heard.
that here and there that you definitely pick up on.
Cool, man. All right, well, you're booking then?
Yep, I'm out of here.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in.
All right, Brian.
Cheers.
Don't
See you guys.
next time I see you, you'll be all swole. You'll be all fucking jacked and
Or
like
I'll be back to
yoked.
300 pounds.
Back to what?
Never know.
How much?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was gonna say, holy! I thought you said 300. I was
300, no.
dude. You're never that fat. Come on.
Not that.
278 maybe, but
Yeah, never push to 300.
all right, brother. Good to see you,
Yeah.
man. Catch you.
All right, man.
Bye.
He's gonna surprise us. He's gonna show up like fucking like Jason Momoa, cast in some evil
He's
medieval
gonna,
movie.
you know, what's gonna happen. He's gonna show up in the comments in 20 minutes, sitting on the shitter taking a dump, and he'll be chiming in from the shitter. That's what he always does. He comes. Brian comes on. I mean, I think about 2 years ago, he kind of got the shits of doing the live stream stuff, like and staying a long time, like some of us do. Like me and Rick, sometimes we'll go 6, 8 hours. Although we're not doing that as much lately, but he just kind of like we always call it the Irish goodbye. He just disappears. He's gone. We don't, So
He waits at a perfect time. He's really good at it. We don't even notice it for like maybe an hour. Like
yeah, sometimes we're like, wait, I guess Brian's not coming back. He's been gone for 30 minutes. All right, so that was, let's see, that was Brian. Who's up next? Stunty, you are.
No, it's Rick.
I thought
was it?
I'm usually after you, right, Jeff? 'Cause
No,
you're-
you just bit. No, Rick just did
Yeah,
Orbis.
I did-
or
yeah,
Orbis.
I showed the Orbis. Yeah.
And then Brian, and then
Okay.
you. Yeah, you're third. Yeah, third one.
So are we doing the full thing or we're?
No, we'll. Rick, you still good for about an hour?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. We should be able to knock out the. We've only got 2 more rounds after this, so.
Okay. Well, okay, then I'll do it that way. So, yeah, there were so many different possibilities, but I'll go. I'll stay in your traditional home. So it's a band that was very instrumental for me to get into electronic music, and this is not necessarily exactly the band itself, but it's the same guy. It's a record I've talked about with Jeff of recent. It's it's one of my favorite records from this year so far. So it's pretty cool artwork. Do
Yeah,
you know
well,
what
who
it
is
is,
it?
Rick?
Who is it?
No,
So
what's that?
here's the inner sleeve. It's paintings.
Oh shit! Wow, who is
Pretty
it?
wild, huh?
Is that a napalm death we don't know about?
Oh, Coffin
Oh,
Mulch.
Mick Harris. I was close. It's getting the grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically like Coffin Mulch is it's proper like old school death metal.
Death metal, right? Mhm.
Yeah.
But Mick Harris in dub, it makes so basically you have sort of the ghosts, the echoes of guitar riffs from metal, but it's literally an electronic noise record made through dub techniques. So a lot of reverb, delays.
So there's a good bit of scorn in there, kinda.
It's like from the good scorn, like
Yeah.
for me, you still have the sort of ambience you could find on this on Gyro,
Gyro,
which is for me the last
Yeah.
really good
That's a
scoring
great
record.
album, though, man. I love that album.
It's from like 96, I believe,
Yeah.
95.
I have
95.
that on cassette somewhere.
So for me, like this was the last Mick Harris stuff that I really, really, really loved. And I bought a shitload of stuff of his after that like I can do without, and that I did without.
Yeah,
And
right.
this is the return to form for me.
Put that
Which-
up a little closer. Put the artwork up a little closer to the camera, man. Oh wow, that's fucking cool, man.
Somehow I didn't know about this.
That's cool.
So it came out, I think, in April or so, self-released, 12 pounds. That's pretty
Wow.
reasonable. Like self-released by Coffin Mulch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Coffin Mulch are Scottish?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And so it is, in a way, a metal record, but you could also be fooled.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'd be.
Oh,
And
that
Mick
look, I
Harris is-
thought it was Carcass album when I looked at it.
Yeah. Mick Harris is very interesting in regards of to electronic music, in the sense that he is one of the few guys who comes from from metal, and who actually managed to do straight up proper techno,
Yeah.
straight up proper drum and bass, dub, without it being sort of a fusion.
And ambient too, man.
Yeah,
Ambient.
ambient with
yeah.
low.
Lull. Yeah, lull.
So because most often when you have people coming from metal and doing all this stuff, they still can't. Most often they can't let totally go of
Of
like
the
the
metal,
metal,
yeah.
aggro, dark
Yep.
stuff, and he has managed to do that because, as Justin Broderick, Godflesh, and Napalm Death, they were both into other stuff when they were teenagers. Like Mick was literally into stuff like into post-punk stuff like Joy
Yeah.
Division and stuff like that, and then he got into free jazz, industrial, avant-garde, and yeah, so he's a pretty fascinating musician, considering also what he invented for metal. Like, I mean, he literally came up with stuff that was revolutionary in the 80s with what was it, like the blast beat or the
Blast
blast?
Beats.
Yeah,
Blast Beats, yeah.
yeah, that's Mick Harris.
Mm-hmm. He's a unique guy. We've talked
Yeah.
about that. I've had some back and forth with him years ago. I don't know if I ever told you this story, Rick. I was back in the MySpace. Speaking of MySpace, back in the MySpace days, I somehow found myself talking to Mick Harris. I don't even remember exactly how it happened, but this is probably 2003, 2002, something like that. And I was looking for Scorn and Lull CDs because they were kind of hard to find back then. You just couldn't find them like anywhere easily. You know, they never popped up on eBay, and this is before Discogs and all that shit. So
I was starting to hear more of this electronic stuff come through. Like the later like Pig Destroyer albums, there's like these electronics, and we saw them live, and you saw, you can kind of hear some of that kind of.
Oh yeah.
In there, that wasn't the thing way back. Mick Harris, we still with Defecation. These guys, like that was like unheard of,
Yeah.
And now it's
I think it's Paul, High Defamation TV. There, he's saying that Scorn
That's
never put out.
Eric. That's Eric.
Eric. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. He says that they never put out a better record than the Vaisolis. That's a little bit trolling because Vaisolis is sort of a blueprint. If you take the Suffer the Children EP by Napalm Death, like the B side is called Harmony Corruption. So same as the album, but that track is not on the album. And that track is kind of Vaisolis. It's literally music that would be the perfect soundtrack for the Hellraiser movie. So industrial, like slaughterhouse, clunking sounds, no guitars,
Right.
other than like droning guitars from very far away, and dramatic. And Vaisolis, I have it, I like it, but it is like a blueprint. It's a work in progress. Like I think really, like for most people, it would be the album after, like the one what is it called, not Ellipsis. Ellipsis was the remix album of Evanescence. Evanescence is when Mick Harris literally had his like the broadest audience he could because he really hit the golden number in a way. Jarrell that I just showed after is he still has some of it. He's solo. It's the first album where he's solo because back then he was with Nicholas James Bullen, who is the actual real founding member of Napalm Death. Mick Harris, he only joined in '85. Nick,
Right.
he was there in '83. So, but
yeah, I was looking for these CDs, and I finally worked up the nerve to ask him. I'm like, hey, do you have any of them laying around? He's like, I got a whole closet full of that shit. What do you want? And I said, well, what? He's like, what do you want to trade? And I'm like, well, how much do you want for him? He's like, nah, let's do a trade. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? You want me to go buy you CDs and send you stuff? He's like, no, I want flies. I'm a fly fisherman. And I'm like,
that kind of trade.
I'm like, because at first when he said flies, I'm like, you want insects? Like what? But anyway, just it never ended up happening, and I don't know why. I bought him a bunch of flies. I think I sent them to him, and he never sent me the fucking CDs, if I remember correctly. So, and then I jumped off of MySpace and got involved with a woman and never talked to him again. But all right, I think it's me, right?
Yep.
All right, so I hate to do this again, but I'm going to show another picture because, as I said, I just was not feeling well enough to be digging around for all this shit. We are going to hear a track off of this album, but not yet. And the album and artist, or the artist, rather, I should say, is this guy right here. Tom Jenkinson, Square Pusher, and the album is The Ultra Visitor. This guy was one of the Warp artists, although I don't think initially he was, right, Stunty?
his first record was on Spy Mania, which is a small IDM label. He became friends with Aphex Twin very early on. He was the first artist of Warp that was literally embracing drum and bass, but his own, or jungle, but his own take, which was very different in a way. And also, he's a bass player and literally plays like Jaco Pastorius.
He's fucking insanely good, man, like crazy good. And he throws a lot of jazz in there. There's a lot of jazz things going on that you don't hear in drum and bass so much. The jazz chords and the kind of the crazy funk rhythms at times and things like that are a little unique to him, I think, you know.
But that album is quite special for me. It's my favorite album of his as well. And it sounds to me, this album sounds to me like a great Soft Machine Robert Wyatt record.
Not a bad way to phrase it. I mean, yeah, if Robert Wyatt was doing a lot of acid and listening to acid techno house and stuff like, or acid house stuff like that, we're gonna hear a track off of this. But this one, I don't think it was my first one. I think the first one I got was 16. What's it called? 16 selections, I think. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, 16. Yeah, something. I have it somewhere here, but
yeah, I can't remember. Here it is. Selection 16.
Yeah.
And Go Plastic and Music is Rotted One Note. Those, I got those.
Music is Rotted in One Note is amazing as well.
Mm-hmm. It is, but this is my favorite of his. This one here. There's just something really. It's very listenable, even though some of it is pretty intense as fuck. It's very experimental. Very, we talk about Arteca being kind of cutting edge and sounding like no one. I to a large extent, I think no one really sounds like this guy. He had his own sort of musical language, but again, like you mentioned, monstrous fucking bass player, man. So he probably plays guitar and other instruments, obviously, and programming. He's just a programming nut weirdo, like fucking like Justin Broderick or something like that. Just a they learned how to use early computer technology to create sounds that we didn't really hear before, or that were unique to them. So we're gonna play a song from this in a bit when we do the tracks here after our next 2 rounds. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is a great one, and I figured you'd respect this one because it's kind of in your wheelhouse. All right, where'd Rick go? Did he leave? Did he fall asleep? Rick, are you out there? He might have went to the bathroom. All right, Stunny, I'll let you go next.
Uh,
Then we'll pull Rick in when he comes back.
well, I was thinking that like we could, yeah, I could show the one that I wanted you to play a song for, so that we can.
Well, I was thinking we'd do that last.
Yeah,
but-
but like, how
Okay.
many did I show? Is it? Are we only at 4?
We're on the 4th.
Okay. Well, okay, then I can show this.
Ooh.
This is not necessarily my favorite Terry Riley record, but it's the first one. I like it a lot. It's like the object is amazing. It's a sealscreen jacket from 1963, 4, I think.
Okay.
So read streams. Terry Riley is the father of minimal music. Like when you think of Philip Glass, Steve
Okay.
Reich,
Yep.
he is the guy who publicly started it first. Before him, there was La Young, but La Young was still in the art scene, the loft scene in New York, whereas Terry Riley is the first one to sign a contract for a multiple album contract. In
Wow.
his case, it was with CBS Columbia, but this was a private press. There's only 2 releases on that label, Mass Art Inc. Quite interestingly enough, the photography is by Warner Jepson, who went on to do some music himself. His first and only album, to my knowledge, Totentans, from the 70s as well, is sort of like one of the most intense electronic music record of academia electronic music, and yet
Okay.
it sounds like industrial on PCP. Like
Really?
it's really intense,
And that would predate. That would even Would that predate Throbbing Gristle then?
Yeah.
Wow. I gotta
Yeah.
check that out then.
I mean, in the academy, in modern composition, there's a lot of electronic music that sounds today is more revolutionary than anything you can hear right now. And
Okay. I'll have to check some of that out then. That sounds like something I should know about. May not like it, but I should at least check
no,
it
you
out.
would. I mean, it makes all of this stuff like that we talked about kind of like look a little bit childish in a way. Like
Tame,
it's so intense, but this is more like it is really cyclic as well. It is repetitiveness, influenced also by Indian classical music. Not as much back then, but already a little bit.
Okay.
Terry Riley, he's still alive. I believe he's 90 years old.
90. Yeah.
And there's a bunch of artists from electronic music who reached 90 this year. There's Rodelius from Cluster,
Oh yeah, Cluster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who
That's
Release-
crazy, man.
he released this year, by the way.
No way. Really?
Appropriately named and titled
Nothing.
No,
Oh, you can't
Uh,
see it. Oh, it's spot gloss. Yeah, it's spot varnish. I can't really read it. What's it say?
90.
Oh, 90. Okay, for 90 years old.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
that's pretty
4
wild.
LP box set of unreleased stuff.
And that's Rodelius.
Yeah, it's his tape music from around. Yeah, and so it's interesting. There's in most countries with traditional electronic music, 1 or 2 guys got a big contract with the label. In the US, firstly it was like Terry Riley, and then a little later you got like Philip Glass with Philips, I believe. In France, it was Pierre Henry, also with Philips. In Sweden, it was Ralph Lundsten with Harvest.
Wow.
Like when for proper electronic music that never really become popular, there was only room for one figure like that for the industry to like. We want to have our own like
Rockstar.
rock star in that, without knowing if this could ever become something fruitful in terms of business.
Right. Sure.
But so what's interesting is that there are the big names we know, but for each of these names, it means that a lot of other people who were doing the same thing at the same time in the same scene didn't get the same opportunity and got forgotten. So a lot of that music you will have to find on private press,
Right.
and these records are often the holy grails of record collecting.
Right. Sure. And they're bringing big money, and you got to know somebody that knows somebody that are not know.
Mm.
In order to even discover them, you have to run into somebody like you that has really gone down the rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't have just run into that on my own, probably. I don't think. You know what I mean? But all right, Rick, you ready with number 4?
Sure. Can you hear me now? I don't know how the mute or whatever turned off.
Is the THC drink kicking in?
No, but I suddenly want a donut.
You want a donut? Okay, well there you go. It's kicking in hard though.
I'm right. So yeah, the problem with Jeff knows like.
Ooh, what happened there? Hold on, you computerized for a minute. Go ahead.
No, he's fine.
Did I go max headroom on you guys?
He
No,
went
no,
back
no.
headroom on me.
All right.
It's on Jeff's end.
No. I went for something because I was gonna say that when Jeff invites metal centric guys like us, we tend to go dark.
Mhm.
Something noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. Here's Fulber, man. There you go. Something a little brighter. You know, I like Conjure One. You know, the Delirium stuff. Jeff and I talked about them, and you know, of course, you know, the big one, right? Frontline. And but I've never picked up his self-titled stuff. You know, the Reese Fulber stuff, and he's been putting out stuff every year since he started doing this with the more, I guess, the techno side of it. Yeah, Balance of Fear came out last year, which was the newest one, but it looks like he dropped another one for
He just did, a couple 2-3 weeks ago, and it was weirdly, man. They only had Frontline only had. Here, I'm going to share something real quick before we move on.
Sure.
Can you see that? Hey, you know those guys? I know those guys. There's Reese right there. Me
DC,
and him
right?
hanging out. That was Tuesday night.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah. And Reese's, I can announce, he's going to be coming on doing an interview with me
Oh, that's awesome.
in a couple weeks, probably, which is cool. But yeah, he just dropped a new album. I did not. I was pretty broke when I went to that show that night because I didn't get paid till the next day. So I went specifically to get a Frontline Caustic Grip shirt, and of course they fucking sold out all the larges because the dude that was doing merch was kind of a nitwit. It was like a guy from the soundstage. Long story short, I didn't get my thing. I should have bought the new Reese Fulber album, but I didn't, or CDs. So go ahead.
Man, but just looking at this image, it's kind of like it's a little shaky just because of the plane, and there's like this building, and
No, right?
you know,
He does. If you check out his Instagram, he's a great fucking photographer, man. He takes amazing shots
I'm
from.
not following.
Yeah. So I bet he probably did the artwork for that, the photograph. I bet.
I never checked the credits. If he was,
I'd be shocked if it wasn't him, but maybe I'm wrong.
no, it's actually if you blow it up, it says it right there.
What's it say?
Photography by Reese.
Yep.
And
there
then
you go. That's what I thought.
artwork and layout, Dream Carver Studio.
That's what I thought.
All right. Yeah, it's. I mean, look at that, man. It's something you probably see on the Prague album.
It does look very proggy. You're right. Yes.
Conceptually.
Extremely proggy.
Yeah, not overly long. I think the longest track here, 6.5 minutes or whatever. My favorite is actually the very last one.
Is that the one I'm playing? Yeah, that's the one I'm playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I sent you the list. If you want to play
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that one. That's one I want to throw on.
I think I listened to it a little bit quickly this afternoon, and I think the cover sounds exactly like looks like how the music
What's your,
sounds.
the sound? Yeah.
Yeah. Once I've
Sort of
listened to it, I'm like, yeah.
techno, but also it tells you like it's taking itself very seriously.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I mean,
But I
I
go see
think
Dream Theater doing the cover like this
you
too.
could. That looks
yeah,
like a Dream Theater cover,
like the
actually. But
technical, it's not grungy at all. It's
mm,
not at all lo-fi, and it's very clinical in a way.
well, I don't know
Um,
if you know this, but like what you do, I know you know, Rick, and you probably do too, Stunty. Reese did a lot of production after he left Frontline Assembly, man. I mean, when they got that Karma money, you know, the album Delirium Karma that went huge with the Sarah McLachlan hit, they got some good money out of that. They made some really good money from that. And Reese left Frontline. Chris Peterson joined, and Reese started doing production. He did Demanufacture from Fear Factory. I believe he might have done Obsolete too. He did.
I didn't know that Delirium had a success, a commercial success.
Oh my God, yeah, that song "Silence" with
I
Sarah
had no
McLachlan.
idea about that.
You never heard that song "Silence" with Sarah McLachlan?
Maybe I did, but
Oh,
like in
that song
Europe,
was
no
That's,
one cared
that's where I
about that
came
in
in with
Europe.
them with the Karma albums where I came in.
the
It was
Karma
around
album was pretty
When
fucking
was
huge.
that?
late 90s. Was
I'd
it?
have to look it up.
Yeah, but like
2000,
because I remember like this
2000.
synesthesia and delirium stuff from the early mid '90s. Like no one cared for no one. That was like if there was 500
Well,
people buying this in the world, that would be a lot already.
no, well, the early Delirium albums are very dark, ambient, spectral sort of ambient. I like them. They're very they have a lot of percussive elements to them. But that album came out in '97, and let me look here a minute here.
No, I'm shocked that that they made money out of that project because I thought it
Yeah.
was very nerdy back then.
No, it got this particular album because of that Sarah McLachlan track got pretty fucking massive. They did really well with that. Network did. And then they started getting more and more airy and saccharine-y. I didn't like the albums after this one, but the one before Semantic Spaces is great. Syrophenican, Faces, Forms, and Illusions, Spheres, they're all great.
Cinematic, synthetic escape, like that's the last.
Synesthesia.
Yeah, that's the last one I got.
That's like that's a totally different project. That's not
Yeah.
Delirium. That's its own thing. That's kind of their Tangerine Dream band. And then they had Noise Unit. They had Protech.
Yeah, but Noise Unit was a
Intermix.
collaboration with the guy from Clinic.
The first one is, but then it was just Reach and Bill after that, I think. Noise Unit was they've done 5 or 6. That's their more abrasive industrial project. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what
this
year did that
is-
come out? What year did that come out?
Yeah, 80 something, I guess.
Yeah, they transitioned the Noise Unit thing. What's that one called? Because I don't have that one.
That was the single from the first album.
Okay, so the Noise Unit Industrial Band, Frontline, Bill Lieb, and Chris Peterson, Reese Fulber, and Mark Verhagen. Is that who you're talking about? Mark Verhagen?
Mark Verhagen is half of Clinic, yes.
Yeah,
Dirk
he was-
Irvens and yeah.
he was on the very first album, but then after that he went. Grinding Into Emptiness is one you're thinking about, I believe. Came out on Wax Tracks, Antler.
Yeah, Antler.
Yeah.
Antler Subway.
I have I have Response, Strategy, Decoder, Drill, and Voyeur, and then I kind of was like, all right, I've had enough. But that's their more harsher sort of thing that they did. Synesthesia was more the Tangerine Dream space sequencer stuff, and then Protech was kind of
double CDs.
What's that?
The area of double CDs in the 90s.
Yes, double CDs. Yes, too much
Yeah.
of a good thing a lot of the time. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I want to get that Reese Fulber. Or at least I got to go check it out. We're gonna check that song out. So,
Yeah.
all right, Stunty, did I do one? No, I need to do one yet. I believe. Yeah. Okay. My fourth one. Then we'll do the last set, and then we'll play tracks. And Rick, if you got a bolt, you can split. We're a little over 2 hours right now. My fourth one is also one that I own all these, but I just couldn't find it. So let me pull it up here. And it is, I know you're going to know this one. I changed my mind at the last second, Stunty. I'm going to hold on to that other one I sent you. So we're not going to bring it up, but you'll see what I mean. All right. So this is a kind of almost in a weird way. It's kind of a remix album in a way.
100% is.
Yeah. It's basically Death Prod, who is a guy named Helge Sten. Or Stena, I don't know how you say his name, but Helge Stena probably is right. He's a Norwegian dark ambient found sound kind of sound manipulator. And then Biosphere, which is Gears Jensen, I guess, is Biosphere. And what they did was, I think they were
Who
probably
had a connection with the guy we talked about, since he was doing this thing called Reload with one of the guys from Frontline Assembly at one point.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Oh shit, I didn't actually know that. Okay, wow. Well, Therese, maybe Therese, yeah.
I'm not sure who, I don't remember who, but yeah.
I'll have to look into that. But Biosphere does really glacial, ambient, sort of techie stuff that has beats but minimal beats. And we've already talked about. I think we talked about Substrata. Lewis brought that one up last time. And I think maybe Melinda might have mentioned the first album.
Substrata is probably one of the most popular and best-selling ambient albums of the
It's great.
past 30 years.
I love that album, man. Maybe it's not your cup, but I love that album, man. I think it's cool. I actually like the double CD with Man with a Camera, which is the EP. That's cooler than the Substrate, I think, actually. I love Cirque. I like a lot.
Cirque
that
is top 3 Biosphere.
Cirque is fucking killer, man. I mean, when you see the artwork for that, the sound is exactly what the artwork looks like. Would you agree on that?
Yeah.
It's just got that glacial, epic mountain ambient drift and drone sound. Used to fall asleep to that a lot back in the day. But anyway, to wrap up here on the Nordheim Transformed, they were commissioned, I believe, to do remixes of a guy named Arne Nordheim. Is that how do you pronounce it?
Arne Nordheim, who's
Nordheim?
the greatest electronic music composer of Norway.
There you
He
go.
had a contract with Philips. I have maybe 15 albums of his.
Yeah.
Uh,
Composer, electronic composer, and
Yeah.
acoustic composer. And they took tracks, which I will admit, I don't know any of Nordheim's stuff. I bought this because it had Death Prod and Biosphere in the name, and I went for it. But I probably will go check some of Nordheim's stuff out now. But basically, they remixed the songs into more, like Biosphere does half, and I think Death Prod does half. Now, Death Prod is Helge Sten, which he's really known for this album that we're not going to say the name of it, Stunty, because I'm going to use it in the future for an episode. But I almost was going to show that, but I could not find my box. I had the box set of Death Prod, and I couldn't find my box set anywhere. I don't know why. And it was one of the. And there, this came out on Rune Gramophone.
Rune Gramophone.
Rune Gramophone. 98, I think. 98.
Yeah. Funny enough, today I picked up an old magazine I wrote for. I was doing a stream about other stuff today, and I was writing for this magazine, France, and I did an interview of the guy behind that label back then, exactly in 1998.
What's that guy's name? The Rune Gramophone guy. Do you remember?
I don't remember now.
It's a weird name. It's like.
Basically, they were at the beginning. They got some help from ECM to fund the label.
Right.
And they're about the guy who runs it. He used to be part of a big pop band from the 80s from Norway that was popular. I forget the name, but
Rune. His name is Rune Christoph.
Christophers.
It's this. I really love this album because it's just very drifty.
It's amazing.
It's very drifty and chill. It's a real chill, like nighttime sort of listen. Great driving album to put this on. Driving if you got long distances to drive in the cold, that kind of puts you in that place. Although a lot of these songs on here kind of have almost a breezy, summery feel in a weird way. They don't feel cold and like you would think they would, based on where it's coming from, and and also it's the Biosphere tracks do sound a lot like Biosphere. The tracks that Death Prod does don't sound a lot like Death Prod. They sound a lot more chill and ambient and kind of minimalist because
there's some light in it.
Yeah, some light. Yeah, it's not all complete darkness, which you would almost expect. So we will talk about the Death Prod album, probably the next one. I'm going to pull it out because I'm going to find my box set. And you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. It's probably one of the more. That one's a pretty evil sounding album, man. That's pretty dark and kind of fucked up. So, yeah. So there you go. That's that one. And then we're on our last ones, and we'll do our things. I guess I kind of screwed up because I left. Well, no, I didn't. I talked about. Okay, yeah. Why don't we go ahead and hit these quick, and then we'll play the tracks. So anybody that's watching, if you want to stick around and hear some tunes, they're coming up. I don't know if Rick's going to bail out because he's got to get up for work tomorrow, so he might have to bail out after his song.
Yeah, I'll show this last one. I'll bail after that.
Okay. Well,
come on, you have to stay for our tracks.
Nah,
if you're gonna play it right after.
Well, the problem is, the one track of mine is 9 minutes. How long is yours, Stunty?
Like 3-4 minutes.
Oh, okay, all right. Well then, yeah. So we'll rip through this. So Rick, you're up. Oh, I gotta get rid of that.
Yeah. So this is an album came out last year, and it's a band I got into when Maral Hymns came out, and now I think she moved to Germany. Although I think they started out in New York. So this is Raw Blood singing Insect Arc.
I know that name and I don't know them yet. I need to check.
Started by there was two women. I know the one still here is Dana Schechter, and she kind of teamed up with the dude Tim from Kanate.
Kanate.
You caught it, yeah.
Kim Muschietti.
Which is more. It falls more in line with what this kind of is, was kind of this drone doom.
But is it drone? Is it harsh like Kanye? Because Kanye can be harsh.
No, not harsh like Kanye. No.
All right, I was gonna say that's fucking harsh shit, man.
This is more experimental, if you will. It does have some ambient moments. It depends on some albums are more of those leanings than others.
Right.
I think this one here, they really went. I mean, you can just look at the cover. I mean, they really hit on the doom with this. Which is Jeff knows is already my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Also, it's put out by Debu Morty. You know what I mean? Like, so if you shop from that label, you know that kind of stuff they put out. So it's as a matter of fact, yeah. There you go. These are the two involved with this, and it was just the very beginning. It's been something that's been very hard to describe. Whenever I hear anybody try to talk about them, just because it kind of doesn't fit in any mold. There's just like I think first and foremost, they kind of started this thing as an experimental project. There's no real solid line or boundaries where you can say this is definitely this. It really meanders, to all these different kind of.
I like that name, so I've always wanted to check them out. So I'm glad you brought it up. This will give me a reason to do that. Then.
Yeah. It's I think they had the one. Was somebody from Sub Rosa here at one point in the band.
Oh, Sub Rosa, yeah. Are they from out in the Pacific Northwest?
No. They're in Germany now.
Oh, they're German. Okay.
Well, from the U.S.
Well, the Earth is round, so you're always west of something.
That's true.
Right.
Unless you're a flat earther, then you're not.
I'm more of a diamond earther. I think the world's like a diamond.
I gotta check these. I gotta check them out. Are their songs long?
Start with this one, man. They still have copies on Debu Memorial.
Yeah. Are there long? Are their songs very long?
Not long, actually, at all.
Maybe we'll throw one on then here.
It's very accessible. I think the track I gave you was Cleveland Hearted, which is like right. It's like right in the middle of the album there.
All right, I'll try to. We'll throw that one on then too, real quick. Then, all right. Stunty, you ready to roll?
Yes. I thought I was. I had to. Come on. Yeah, there it is. So again, I couldn't find the record, but I found the reissue of the record. So this is Bernard Parmigiani, one of I would argue the three most famous musique concrète composers. He started as a technical assistant in the late 40s, and throughout the 50s he was developing the craft, and by the late 50s, early 60s he was releasing some tunes. This is his third album, I believe, Dedans Dehors, Inside Outside, and it features a track called Pour en finir avec le pouvoir d'Orphée, to end it all with Orpheus' power, which is sort of a take on the to end it all with God's judgment by Antonin Artaud, a French author, drama writer. But yeah, this is the most intense. Yeah, I would argue that this is one of the most intense pieces of music I've heard in my life.
Wow. I've
If
never
not
heard of him,
the-
man, until you brought him up. I'm shocked that I haven't.
So he's my hero. Like there's not that many records of his out now. There's been a lot of archival stuff, so
Right, sure.
there's probably around like 20 releases on vinyl, maybe a little more now. There's one that is about to come out. I met him a couple of times. He was a guest at my radio show in Paris back then.
Oh
He
wow.
was an old guy, but
Yeah, he's dead now, right? I think he died.
he died in
15,
around
12.
2010, I would say.
Yeah, I think it was around then. Yeah.
And yeah, and when I realized, so basically, in my formative years, I knew a lot about electronic music. I thought I knew everything. And one day, at a friend's place, he had another record from that same series, a Musique
Mhm.
Concrète record, and I realized, oh shit, I know nothing about electronic music. I know about techno, electro, and all that, but I
So
didn't
you
know
didn't
about
know the origins.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this stuff was French and from Paris, where I used to live. So that put me in sort of like an identity crisis. I basically revoked my contract with my label and said, no, I need to, which was maybe stupid, but like for 10 years, I guess, I was doing nothing but investigate and try to find records of this kind of stuff, which that was before Discogs, and that was like 98.
Oh yeah.
And
Way different time.
yeah, and there were really no one around me, if like very few people. Like in the early days of eBay, you could see the name of the other people who were bidding, and in the world there were like there
Yeah.
were not even 10 people buying this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
on eBay.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And now they're probably.
Yeah, now they're heroes. Now they are the big cult figures, and
What's a record like that go for, the original?
not that much. You
Okay.
can of that. There are some of his records. Like my most expensive record in my whole collection is a 7-inch private press of a movie soundtrack he did, and that goes for 5,000 euros.
Jeez, wow.
If you find a copy, basically there's no price.
I was
Like,
gonna say that. Yeah, it's because
Yeah.
there's probably very few of them out there in circulation at all. Yeah.
but an original of that you can get it for between 40 and $100,
Oh, that's
depending on how
okay.
lucky you are.
All right, so we're gonna play a track from that, right?
Yep.
Okay. And Rick, we're gonna play a Reese, and then I'll sneak in an insect real quick. This I'm gonna play at the end, and it might just be me here. I don't know if you're gonna stick around stuff here or not, but once we play our round of tracks, I am gonna play something from this as sort of a fade out. It's about 15 minutes long, but it's a good way to close out the show. You don't have to stick around if you don't want to.
I'll try.
This is Base Communions, Molotov, and Haze. This is Steven Wilson. Steven does has been. I will tell you that when I first got into Steven Wilson, it was through Porcupine Tree initially, but I gravitated very early on to his Bass Communion project. Now you might call it easy listening ambient, easy listening dark ambient, whatever you want to call it, because he kind of gets experimental, because he does a little bit of, he dabbles his fingers in a lot of different pies throughout the history of Bass Communion. He's done solely droney stuff. He's done solely ambient stuff. He's done beautiful ambient stuff. He's done weird, more tribalistic sort of things. This is kind of a mixture of everything. But what's interesting about this album is, and what he's always tried to do with Bass Communion, is use generally acoustic instruments or acoustic or electric, and then manipulate the sound through filters and processing and all that kind of stuff. This actually is all made from electric guitar, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. Because it says guitar pieces performed by Wilson on location between 17 and 14 February 08. So this came out on Important Records. And he's released self-released stuff on Headphone Dust, and then bigger stuff. Some of the Bass Communion, I forget which one. Ghost on Magnetic Tape was but that was Headphone Dust too. Anyway, long story short, this is kind of the mixture of all the things he's tried to do with Bass Communion in 4 pieces. They're all, I think, 10 plus minutes. The final one, Haze, is 23 minutes. And yet there's some stuff on here. Molotov, the first track, is just this grinding fucking beast of a drone. That's, you can tell it's kind of from a guitar, but the way that it's grinding, it sounds very industrial and militaristic. And then in between the mix, you start to hear all these undulating Pink Floydian sort of guitar melodies that don't really sound like guitars. They sound more like Rick Wright playing the electric piano, but it is guitar processed that way. Then you get to a song like Haze, which is super glacial, slow and droney, spectral, really pretty ambient. I was going to play that one. It's 23 minutes, but I realized that the song Glacial is the one I want to play. It kind of reminds me a little bit of one of the earliest Bass Communion songs I heard, which was Drugged, off of the original, the first Bass Communion album. And you'll get when you hear Glacial, you'll get why he called it that. And then Corrosive is the real noise, harsh electronic piece, which I kind of wanted to do, but I'm kind of doing that a little bit with the Jenkinson track, so we'll just stick with that. But this is one of my favorite Bass Communion because it kind of shows all aspects of Steven's creativity. Is he doing anything that's ever been done before here? No. Is it earth-shatteringly, mind-blowingly incredible? Yes and no, but not in life-changing ways. But it's really good. If you want to start with a Bass Communion album, this might be a good one to grab because it's kind of all facets of what he does. And, you know, I've spent a lot of money on rare Bass Communion stuff, kind of like you. Not vinyl, but the CD box sets and the things that you can't find very easily anymore. I'm trying to see what I did with the box set. There's a box set over there I paid a pretty good penny for because I missed it when it came out because they only made 1,500 copies or something like that. So, all right, man. Well, that's it. We'll do Rick's song first. And we have to mute ourselves on our end. And we'll start the track here. Then I got to, hopefully when I come back, it doesn't do that bullshit with the ringing. We'll see what happens.
Echo? No.
Cool.
You're muted, Jeff.
I'm gonna play one more track.
Okay.
So mute.
Oh, echo.
Yeah, I got. We're going back to music. So turn one more song. Are we echoing? We echoing?
I don't hear. Oh,
No,
there.
no echo.
It's echoing right now.
It is.
Yes.
The fuck is going on? Never did this before. All right. Are you guys echoing when you talk, or only when I talk?
Echo. Yeah, it's echoing.
But when you're not, if you remove yourself, we're not echoing. So it's your setting. Now it's fine.
Now it's fine. Yep.
Yeah.
How about now? How about now?
Echo.
Now?
Echo's back.
Echo.
So there's some kind of loop being created here in my room. I don't know what the fuck it is. It never did that before. So, real quick, and then I'll play your track, Stunty. They stole a little bit from John Carpenter. That was very John Carpenter to me.
Actually, was
Yeah, that down is right out of.
frightening. Not all their stuff's that frightening though.
Yeah, it was killer though. I loved it. It was super cool. The Reese track, you can tell Reese loves those string pads. That's the beautiful sounds of the chordal stuff for Frontline and stuff like that. So, all right, I'm gonna go back out. I'm gonna. Are you gonna stick around and listen to his Rick, or you
Yeah.
gotta?
I'll stick around. But I'm gonna bounce off of that.
Okay. All right. Let me throw yours on, Stunty. I'll be right back in then. Let me get it started here. Stunty, which section?
I brought it to you.
Yeah, what side? What? How long was I forget where it started? I don't remember.
Start at 5.
About 5 minutes.
10.
Okay.
He kind of looks like Phil Collins. Just saying.
I don't know about that. Maybe, but all right, hang on. I'll be right back then.
More facial hair.
This is how you can lose the weight the way you want. Weight Loss by Hims offers access to a variety of
$1972. Pretty intense, huh?
Got some chills.
Oh, you liked it, huh?
Oh yeah. It's a lot of crashing going on too. It seemed to be all throughout.
It's you can't really get better sound design than these guys because that's what they were doing. In their mind, they were not doing music. They were doing musique concrète, which they were not very happy with that name as well. It's the art of sounds and how you would build them into something else. So almost all these tones, like they don't come from synthesizers. They come from acoustic phenomenons that they create and nurture. And I wanted to play that first. You're silent, by the way, Jeff, I think. But
Am I echoing?
no, you're not.
I'm not
But we
echoing.
are.
We're echoing.
What
But,
in the fuck?
So in that first what I played, or that we played, mute yourself for a second, and then
So
when
are you? Yeah. So if I'm mute, then it doesn't echo.
Yeah. So when you speak, we don't speak.
Yeah, we're fine now.
And so that first part has a more like a structure that is more less abstract than what came after. And the sequencing, there was no proper sequencer he was using, so that's why these rhythms are totally unpredictable. You feel that there's something you could like anticipate and build into a groove, and it kind of
Yeah,
does, but
kind
not
of
really.
like a movement,
Yeah,
like a physical, but through sounds. It's hard
which
to
is
describe.
yeah, and it has a sort of counterintuitiveness in the groove
Mhm.
that still feels, oh, there's a logic in it, which is very musical, like finding a logic in something, finding patterns that are not like crammed into the normal 4/4 paradigm of how you do music.
But it didn't
Usually.
sound jarring. It transitioned very
Yeah.
smoothly.
Mm. Oh, he's
No, that
a
was now.
master.
Now am I echoing?
Now fine.
Good. All right.
You're fine. Yeah.
I don't know why it's creating a loop tonight. That's never happened before ever. So I don't know what's going on. But could be a cell that I'm in that I'm hitting. But what I heard a lot of you said they are sound designers. So did that guy work on movies and all? Because it's a lot of that had a very
He did a few soundtracks to art, animation
art
movies,
films,
he
but
did.
nothing major like big Hollywood stuff. Yeah.
No, but I mean, because like Hollywood had no clue about that.
Yeah.
Like they literally
Wait.
they created they're from a group called the Groupe de Recherche Musicale, Group of Musical Research, the GRM, which is where Musique Concrète was founded. There's a software kit called the GRM tool, which is basically what every sound effect guy has been using for the past 20 plus years, 25
Right.
years now. Because it goes so deep into the ideas of physicality of sound and
Sure.
and I mean, like when I was having a discussion with him, a conversation about music and all that, I was completely lost. Like he was talking about things that were natural for him because he had worked on that since the 50s.
Right. He'd been in that element forever.
Like stepping outside of the normal way of writing music.
Writing music, yeah.
And his whole process, he told me that like often he would revisit an old piece of his. Sometimes it was commissioned as well, and he would always be reducing, which is quite interesting since this one, like at the start, it feels the whole spectrum, and now you only get this through a laptop or whatever. But you can imagine how amazing it is, like
in a
the
big room.
panning. Like when they were performing this live, he would be at the back of the venue on the mixer, the multi-channel, and they would be on the stage, multiple speakers, and he would just orchestrate the sounds around.
That's crazy. One of the things, I don't know if you ever knew this, but the Toho Godzilla movies, that original Godzilla sound, that thing is actually them in studio using a bow and scraping against the strings of a cello or a bass. So that sound that you hear of the Godzilla making that noise, that that screech that he would make, is actually a stringed instrument being bowed and then being manipulated with oscillations and filters in the studio back in the 50s. So it's crazy. I mean, like you said, how most of that music, what we just heard there, was created with acoustic instruments, not with
No, not with instruments. It was created like that was the rule of musique concrète. You wouldn't use instruments.
oh
You wouldn't use musical instruments. You would use
objects.
different objects and
Yeah.
then treat them and use manipulation to create a narrative, like a linear, like it's a story. It's not just sound effects, as you could hear. There was moments that were more properly musical, even if they
Right.
were like jarring, and moments that were more abstract and where the narrative was there, but less about harmonies and more about movement and structures. Like you could hear like kind of this, like in the middle of what we heard, that excerpt, like these sounds of cars, like the motion of the cars and how the accumulation of the speed there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm gonna
maybe
investigate that. I'm gonna investigate that album now
That's pretty
that you
interesting.
sent me that. And to go back quick on the Reese Fulbert thing, I'm gonna definitely check his solo stuff out, some of those solo albums, because I missed them. I've got Conjure One, I've got all the other stuff, but I didn't really catch on. And Bill just released his first solo album just this year, just a couple months ago. So I mean, the problem with that is how far away from Frontline will it get? Not very. It can't, because that's their identity. You know what I mean? So, but and that Insect Arc, that was probably the only thing that came close to being a metal that we're going to listen to tonight, because it had that metal thing going on.
did it have any electronics apart from the fact that there was this loop going on from the beginning to the end
There
of
was a
the
looping piano in there,
Yeah.
I heard, or some type of keyboard, but
Yeah, which contributes to the drone kind of. This was a little more upbeat. They have slower stuff, like it's
now I'm going to definitely check that out, because I've known about that band for a long time. I just knew the name, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool name for a band, but I just never, you can't listen to everything.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think the earlier stuff's a little more experimental too. Like this one, it's probably their most metal
they
sounding.
drifted more into the metal thing to sell more albums, probably.
Yeah, quite doomy. You can look at the cover.
Um,
Great for October. Like it's a good Halloween list.
Yeah, it's a cool cover, man. I like it. I'm definitely gonna look into that one there. So I'm gonna play a Square Pusher track real quick, Rick, if you want to split.
It is 6 o'clock in the morning for me,
You can split if you want.
and I have to take a shit so bad right
Do
now.
your thing, man. Thank you for sharing that. I'm really appreciate. You could have wrote that in the chat.
In the private chat.
We're still alive here. So I'm gonna play a Square Pusher track, which was my pick, and then I'm gonna fade us out on the song Glacial. So 25 minutes, 20 minutes or more yet, and we'll be out for the night. Want to thank Brian for doing his Irish goodbye, but he was here for 3 albums, so we at least got that much album. We got Rick, semi-stoned Rick, who's gonna probably gonna go crash right now. And Rick, I will see you on Sunday, I hope, but I will tell you right now, man, I'm feeling a feeling that worries me.
Uh-oh.
We've
had this talk before.
Well, it's that feeling of
Everything doesn't seem to get better. Like
it's upper head and lung stuff. And I'm fearing that after 3 days of being around a lot of people, what may I have run through? Because, as you know, my immune system is very damaged and doesn't protect me very well, particularly to airborne stuff. So I hope the fuck I don't get sick now with Wilson looming right on 1 week away. I don't want to get COVID, man. So if I wake up feeling shitty tomorrow, I'm going to test right away. And I have that pre-COVID shit that you can take. It's like if you get in the first 72 hours, it's Rixiumatab or something. It shuts down the COVID very quickly. But, oh, man, dude, the worst part of it is it makes your tongue fucking taste like you're eating chemicals. It's so horrible. It does something in your immune system that makes your tongue it's fucking. I can't even. I don't even want to think about taking those if I don't have to. So we'll see how it goes. But you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Appreciate you joining me for episode 3. We'll be doing more of these, hopefully, as long as I stick around. We'll do some future episodes and a lot of great pulls tonight. A lot of cool stuff that for people to go out and check out. So
Yeah.
And if you like that, like I do, like a live stream
Yeah.
every Friday afternoon
will-
for the US.
I will post your link. I just didn't have time because I wasn't sure you were joining me until a few days ago, and then when you
Yeah.
said you were, I didn't add that. So I will put your link to your channel. I think I already have you and Brian's thing, the Midwestern metal thing that he has or whatever. I don't know if he even goes on there anymore. But
I mean, it's just that on my stream I play all
a lot
kinds
of
of
this kind of
music
stuff. Yeah.
that is a little bit left field, from dub to all kinds of stuff.
And how long do
world
you usually
music,
go? 2 hours?
2.5 hours. But
2.5.
like the main thing is probably like avant-garde, experimental, ambient, electronic music
Yep.
with free jazz and stuff like that. But
Yeah, that's on
Yes.
Stunty. Stunt Rock Confusion is the name of the channel. I will post a link on how to get to you. Rick, thanks, dude, and I'll talk to you this week.
Just for the record, for Stunty, like if I would have sold that record, that last one at the store, I still would have picked it up just because I thought it was Phil Collins, like that material I didn't have.
I was thinking it looks like the dude from Niall McGuinness from the movie.
Yeah, that's different.
You know the movie Night of the Demon, 1957. It looks like Niall McGuinness, the evil conjurer, the bad guy in the movie. It looks a lot like Niall McGuinness.
oh, if you meet him, he was quite tiny, and he was like
Was he?
almost like a fragile little guy that was like so calm and
Where
so.
was he from again? France.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bernard
All right, man.
Parmigiani.
All right,
Italian
boys.
name, but French.
I will catch you guys later, man. Thanks for being here tonight.
Hi guys.
Gunny, go do what you got to do.
Nice to see
I don't
you.
need to
Rick.
see the proof of it. You don't have to send me proof or anything.
We know where you'll be in the next 15 minutes or so.
All right. See you guys.
All right, night everybody.
All right. So I am going to do one of my tracks here. And I probably shouldn't echo here. I'm going to do. You can go ahead and split, dude.
No, yeah, I'll just catch the. I'm just curious to check which square pusher.
Oh, okay.
track you-
All right. Give me a minute here.
Hello! How are you? Good.
How waterproof is the Bearskin Heavy Storm Packable Rain Jacket? Why not?
That is some pretty fucking wild shit, man. Um, hopefully, I'm not echoing now. I shouldn't be because there's nobody else in here. Yeah, if you like that, you're gonna love the album because some of it gets even more insane than that, and some of it's a lot more palatable and listenable. So, Square Pusher, definitely. I know he's continued to put albums out. He was a period there for about 10 years where he didn't do a whole lot, or maybe it wasn't quite 10 years, but 7 or 8 that he didn't seem to do very much. But then he looks like he's put several albums out here in the last 5 or 6 years. Have not listened to them. I did note that they're not really highly regarded on Rate Your Music. Maybe he lost the muse, maybe he lost the plot. I don't know. But I'm going to try and check that out. So we're going to end on a track from this Molotov and Hayes, which is Steven Wilson's Bass Communion thing. It's all guitar improv and filtered and oscillated and mixed using all kind of effects, processing and whatnot. And this thing is really gorgeous, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And then we'll do this again next month, towards the end of the month, hopefully again, and get a new panel of people. It's always nice having Stunty though, because maybe I'll see if he wants to do a regular side host gig with me, where we do something like this once a month. Because he and I talked about doing a Coil and Nurse with Wounds sort of big thing, but it just hasn't materialized. It's a lot of work that goes into putting that together. So that might be why we haven't made it happen. Future show notes. As I said, I think Reese Fulber is going to be joining me in a couple weeks. I believe John from Black Braid is going to join me as well. Going to try to get the Dodesrit guys on too. They were super cool and they expressed interest. The Zoth guys last night expressed a lot of interest in coming on, the whole band coming on. They were amazing. If you like Sound of Perseverance, Death meets Revocation meets Voivod, Nothing Face, Dimension Hatros, fantastic band live, man. I mean, scary fucking good band. So they're gonna come on. Who else did I talk to? Anyways, the one thing to announce though is either Tuesday or Wednesday, and I won't know until tomorrow, unfortunately. We've got V Santura from Triptychon and Dark Fortress coming on, so that'll be fucking cool. I got a lot of shows coming up. I'm hoping to have some of Steve Wilson's solo band, like Nick Beggs maybe, or Adam Holzman on, maybe Randy McStein down the road. And I'm working on a whole lot of different possibilities with other artists. So I've been, for a guy that said he was quitting and was going to die soon, I'm pushing hard. And I still could die soon. Sure do feel like it a lot of the time, but I'm just going to keep going until I can't keep going. So this is a song called Glacial off of Molotov and Hayes, Steven Wilson's Bass Communion. It's about 12 or 13 minutes long, so enjoy it. It's beautiful. And thanks everybody for being here tonight, except that one guy. There's one guy that was here that I don't thank at all. He can literally go fuck himself. You know who you are if you're still watching out there, buddy boy. Hair Club for Men Special. That's the guy. Thanks to everybody else for being here, though. I really appreciate it. Wow. Such a beautiful track, man. Like just glacial, ethereal, just amazingly beautiful song. There are 2 tracks on that album that are harsh as fuck. Some of the most harsh stuff that Steven's ever done, almost noise. Well, really, no, really, it is noise. Bass Community is a project dedicated to Steven Wilson's recordings in an ambient, drone, and/or electronic vein. Most of the pieces are experiments in texture made from processing recordings of real instruments and field recordings. The atmosphere of the music is tended towards the dark and melancholic, but expressed with an almost zen-like beauty. More recently, Wilson has started working with a guitar and laptop configuration. The first material in that style is this album, 2008. I got to talk to Steve more about that when I see him this weekend. It's going to be cool. But yeah, it's really a tough thing, Tim. And I did know about your wife. So I'm not bedridden, but I've had some tough goes here lately. And now, you know, being out, running around a lot and being around a lot of people, a lot of mouth breathers, a lot of germs, I do not feel good now. And that's got me worried because, you know, I'm supposed to go to several shows yet. I was going to go see Dead Congregation tomorrow in Baltimore, but I think I'm going to skip it. I just think I've had enough metal for a few days, and it gives me 3 days to kind of recover before I go down and meet up with my buddy John Wesley and Vertical Horizon in Baltimore on Thursday, and then I've got Wilson on Friday and Saturday, and then again on Tuesday in DC, 2 times in Philly, and hoping that we can go record shopping, and I might be able to take some video of that while we're there and just kind of do that while we're out in the field, do something with them. So, all right, that's it, man. So it was you. He knew it was you. He knew it was you. Tim, you still here? Get rid of this fucking clown, Kevin Gray. I'm not taking anything back, dude. Not taking anything back I say about you. You're a really awful human being, William. The fact that you spent 4 hours here tonight almost. Where are we at? 3.5 hours. The fact that you spent your whole fucking night trying to infiltrate the chat, and you were in here. You did get in, and you played it cool. You kind of played a little bit funny there, but we knew it. Stunty knew it was you. He even said in the chat. You want me to read what he said? Here's what he said. Kevin Gray is 100% a troll, but maybe not harmful. Kevin Gray in real life is one of the top mastering engineers and have no knowledge of Jason Rojas, who is indeed criticizing his work all the time. So this is someone trolling Jason and us by proxy. Keep it up. Keep it to yourself. So it was you, William, you fucking troll-ass piece of shit. If you really understood how much I dislike you as a human being, you'd stay as far away from me as you possibly can. I got nothing to lose, dude. Nothing to lose. So, Tim, I don't know if you got rid of him. Hopefully you did. AZ Mick, yes. Titans are fucking trash. They're absolute garbage. Nothing's saving this team this year. Maybe not. I don't know, man. Maybe until Amy Adams gets out of it, she tends to make bad decisions. I'm not blown away by this Cam Ward kid. He's all right. He's not great. But he also doesn't have any time. The offensive line is offensive. The defense is garbage with the exception of Simmons, who always makes dumb mistakes. Got a terrible defensive backfield that's awful. Invisible wide receivers that can't get open. Yeah, it's a bad deal. I didn't even watch them today. I watched maybe 5 minutes of the game, and I'm like, they're going to get their ass kicked. I kind of want them to get beat up really bad the rest of the year. So coaching's terrible. He's got to lose his job. Got to lose his job. Week in and week out, this guy has done nothing right for a year and a quarter of a year. Get rid of the guy. So, Tim, I don't know if you're still here. Did you get rid of this dick Kevin Gray, the fake Kevin Gray? Giving me the chance to take it back. Yeah, you block him. All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. It's fucking William. What a loser, man. Like, what an abject fucking loser. That guy spent all night on here. All night on here playing this game. Just, wow, what a piece of shit, man. William, if you do catch this or if you're watching right now, I wish very bad things on you. I have no regrets in saying this. I dislike you highly as a human being. You're not even human in my estimation. You're a broken shell of a human being. You're a pig. And you're a Trump lover, so fuck off on that front. You know, that just makes you an even more abhorrent person to me. But you're an embarrassment. I bet your parents don't even speak to you. I think your dad didn't even talk to you, right? Is that thing? And your sister supports you and lets you live with her for nothing, and you don't pay rent and buy all these shitty, stupid records that you show and nobody cares about. Bro, get a fucking life, dude. Get a fucking life. Jesus, what a zero, man. Yeah, I think it's going to be 10 losses, dude. I might go out on a limb and say we might not win a game all year. We may not. Maybe when they fire the coach and the new coach comes in and they get a rah-rah bit and they get lucky or something. But, you know, 4 turnovers in the first game, you can't score any points off. I'm like, there's something wrong here, man. And this offense has just been terrible. I want to give this Cam Ward kid a benefit of a doubt, but who knows, man? I mean, he wasn't a raging, you know, when they were talking about him in the draft. I mean, he was clearly the best guy, but as far as quarterbacks, but man, just anyways. All right, so I got to roll, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the tunes tonight. You enjoyed Stunty sharing that he had to move his bowels. That was kind of interesting. Thanks, Stunty. Appreciate knowing that. I mean, we all do it. We don't brag about it. Just saying. But anyway. And Rick hanging out tonight. Brian for, you know, a couple of selections there was cool because he doesn't get out a lot and doesn't come out a lot. So that was cool to have him. And I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate all you guys that hang out with me. And we'll see how things shape up this week. As I said, unless I get really sick. Tuesday or Wednesday, I've got V Santura from Triptychon. Otherwise, we'll see what else is. Oh, man, dude. He's just terrible. I mean, dude, he's laughably disgusting. He's laughably horrible. So, yeah, Easy, Mick. Good to see you, brother. Take care, man. And everybody have a good night. I'm going to get to bed. I'm wiped out. I'll see ya.